This book is substantially heavy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Hi, what's going on, everyone? The music is way too loud right now. Let me turn that down a little bit. There we go. Hello there, fellow zombie slayers. My name is Stanley557. Welcome to their amazing Call of Duty Zombies live stream. If I can figure out how to hold this. Look, book. Chat, today we're going to read and look at pretty pictures. What's going on, everyone? Hi, welcome. Let me go put the alert out on my Discord real quick. Also, please, I think I figured out the issue of my stream just like randomly lagging every few frames. So if that continues to happen, please tell me and I will personally blow up my PC. But until then, we're going to look at this guy. For those that don't know, Call of Duty Zombies put out an art book for the past year, and you probably already know about it because I haven't shut up about it. And in it is just a ton of just cool looking artwork, cool looking stuff. They spent a really long time working on it. Placed an order for another, can't open it. Just place an order for another one, can't open it. That's true, gotta keep it in a safe place. I have a second one coming in, but that's a whole other story. So, give me the code for the calling card. Okay, here you go, whoever wants it. Psych! I already redeemed it! Oh, look, you can't redeem this code! I already did it. Oh my gosh. You guys can look at it, though. Is that a cool code? Wow, look how redeemable that is. Anyway, so, if you order it physically, you get a thing that says, like, oh my gosh, flip me over to redeem an in-game code. Wow, ain't that cool? That goes to Black Ops 7. And also, I didn't even know it came with this. It comes with a little sticker that I'll probably be putting on my car or something. So if you ever see me on the road, be sure to try and kill me. What does the calling card look like? It literally looks like this thing, but it's like it's an animation of the hand reaching out of the ground. That's all that it is. Psyched, claimed. Yeah, exactly. Well, anyways, hope you guys get it if you guys want it. Do you get the code if you order from Amazon? Yeah, I ordered mine from Amazon. Yep. So I got mine from Amazon. You can get this old big bad boy. You can get the code. I'm happy I did Amazon because I was worried that it was just never going to come in. So I'm really glad that I did that. I'm so happy with my calling card tweet just because I put so much effort into my LARPing. What was your calling card tweet again? I don't even remember, dog. Sick, yeah. Hi, listen to this while I'm on my way home to my book. Congrats. Be safe, Maxis. Sound like Weaver. Maxis, be safe getting home. But yeah, there's some really cool stuff in this book. Like, just for example, like this page. It's like a quad page of wonder weapons. We're gonna go through this in the actual book, but just a quick little meander, just so you guys get an idea of what we're working with here. This is the only page that's like that, but it's really cool. And what's even cooler, whoever came up with this idea, banger, is that it's inside the timeline page. It's the one that opens up, which I think is a really cool idea. So, okay. So anyways, let's get right into it. I also took notes. So here's what the stream looks like today. Stream chat's probably just going away on stream. We're just gonna, this is a full view, okay? I want you guys to actually be able to see the book. I'm like, look how tiny I am back here. Usually we have a stream overlay, looks like that. We're not doing that today. I'm gonna fix all this later. So I took notes on my lunch break today, and these are all the things we're probably gonna go over. Things that I thought were cool, things that I thought were like, oh, that's a really neat idea. We're not going to read this book word for word. I cannot implore you enough to read this for yourself, buy it for yourself. I got it digitally too. Yes, I have it on Kindle. In America, you can get it on Kindle. So that's what I did. What it go? I know, right? Well, I had to. I mean, here's the thing. Unless you guys want me to, here's what the whole stream would be if I didn't do that. It would look like this. I'd be like, wow, guys. Okay, so look, here's a foreword. You can't read any of the text on screen. But since I ordered digitally, I can just do this. Oh my gosh, let's read the foreword together. This art book aims to capture the essence of transformation of zombies, guiding the reader through a multi-decade spanning journey that has offered our team an unparalleled canvas for creativity. As a studio creative director, I've had the privilege of watching our talented artists and designers breathe life into the undead. This book is a tribute to the artists and developers who have poured their vision into creating worlds where horror meets humor History meets mythology, and survival becomes an art form. Each chapter, each piece of concept art, and every storyboard reflects the passion and creativity that have been the lifeblood of zombies. It's a journey through the dark corridors and across time itself, driven by a commitment to innovation and imagination. Each map, character, and hidden detail was crafted with passion meant to offer not just a challenge, but a story. To our devoted fans, I hope this book deepens your appreciation for what goes into crafting the zombies experience. Your theories, gameplay, and enthusiasm have fueled us over the years. And to those new to zombies, may these pages inspire you to join us on this wild, undead adventure. Thank you for supporting us and playing, and for allowing us to continue pushing the boundaries of what video games can be. Enjoy this look into the art and history of Treyarch Zombies mode, where every environment, every zombie growl, and every Easter egg carries the spirit of our studios. This was by Corky Lemcool, Studio Creative Director at Treyarch. This is what we're working with. Yeah, that's pretty much what we would do. I'm reading the foreword because it's a very powerful foreword. It's pretty specific in what we as the audience should be taking away from this. In my opinion, this should only deepen your love for zombies. If it doesn't, I don't know. So, anyways, we're just gonna, this is a overview of the book. Again, I'm not gonna be reading every single insight. I did that all myself. I woke up at 4:30 this morning to read it. It me, Treyarch, stop immediately? Of course. Hi, Jade. What's up? Chill. Is that all right? It's also crazy a mode with this much passion and devotion is attached to Call of Duty. It's what makes zombies so special. No matter what it is, it's still that hidden little secret that everyone has come to adore. So I tried to zoom this in as best as I can so you guys can just get the full experience. We're really going to go through the art. If you want to read the testimonies, pause the stream. I'll move my camera if we need to so you can get a full view of them, but everything should be on screen. I would love if they do a book like that for non-Treyarch. Absolutely, but that would be infinitely more difficult because Treyarch has a legacy of bookkeeping all this stuff in the other studios. I imagine almost none of the people who worked on either zombies are there anymore, so who knows? Did you see the cutscene clip for tomorrow? I did. I love that Zombies and the entire Zombies team was purchased by Remedy, but that ain't who's Remedy. Anyways, here's what we're doing. We got a forward, we got World at War, BO1, BO2, BO3, BO4, Cold War, surprisingly Vanguard and MWZ, and a little bit of Black Ops 6. So, we read that. Here is, like the, let me just turn this down just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So, there is a ton of art. We're just going to take a quick little gander at more or less everything. Yeah, Smug, I wonder too. I thought about that. Yeah. I was thinking about that book too. I want a book walking through all the Easter eggs and through the thought process behind the steps development. That would be cool, but I was talking to Peter Lam about this on LinkedIn, and most of this is just straight up, like, people who worked on most of the stuff don't work there anymore. The only people who are really there that have a storied history of this are Peter Lam, Craig Houston, Mark Mateus, Corky Lemcool, a couple of other developers. There's really not a whole lot of them left. So a lot of this is what we have is what we get. We're lucky this is even on there. Wish there's more for BO6. I agree, but they cut it off at some point. Cover so beautiful. It is. Do they speak of ZM Paris in the book? They do slightly. There are 2 references to it, and we'll get to that. So let's just hop right into it. So I'm going to be zooming in on a lot of stuff. We're going to be taking a little goose of a gander at things. We're not going to be reading the text blurbs. Unless I think there was one that was very interesting, which I have them marked out in my book, my notes. We're just going to be looking at the pictures mainly. So we got this beautiful splash screen, and according to, I think it's, who is it that said they made the first art? Dan, not Dan. Who is it? One of them did. Hold on. Well, anyways, we'll go into it in a second. Here is the Shinonuma splash art. This is beautiful art. Glad that at least Verily Citadel, that map, Shattered Veil and Reckoning have one. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Hells, for becoming a member. Appreciate it, brother. Oh, it's this one. Okay. Yeah, it's Peter Lam. Thank you, Hells. Appreciate it. Yo, what's up, Kendrev? All right, so let's go to the first piece of art that was ever made for zombies. This is made by Peter Lam. I think he's art director at Treyarch now. Okay, this is what we're going to have to deal with. This is really annoying. You guys are going to see some fun stuff. This Kindle view, it's very annoying. Get to see his Avenged Sevenfold on 21st. Nice. Yeah, senior lead concept artist. This is the first piece of concept art ever made for zombies by Peter Lam. And to quote him, it is a depiction of a zombie on an alien-looking planet. And I've always thought that was a really cool way to kind of backdrop the mode. It should always feel different, alien. Things aren't accustomed to what they feel like, and that's the essence of zombies as a mode. Corky Lemcool describes Nacht as a bunker itself modified from World at War. We then loosely set it in Germany with a creepy atmosphere. None of us could have imagined what this bonus mode would become. Such a good idea. You can just tell that, like, every testimony from the remaining developers who worked on this stuff is insane. And thankfully, they do get more varied as they go on. But the first couple, you're going to be seeing a lot of Peter Lom, Corky Lemcool, and Mark Mateus. Genuinely didn't know why they had waited until just before BO7 to release the concept art is insane. Jade, it's because this literally took them forever to make. They were working on this for years. Yeah, Reggie, what's up? Trying to get spoiled on the whole book, but I'm going to be so disappointed if we don't see early sketches and concept for premise. There's one. There's one very good one. Does this book go over the concept of loading screens? It does not. There are loading screens in here, but not the concept of them. So, for example, here is the loading screen or the intro movie for Nacht. It's literally just a film reel of it. There is a lot of in-game assets in here. Not all this is concept art, but some of it is. Fun fact, did you know that a reason why there's a help door in Nacht is because they call this room literally the help room or the mystery boxes? It's a cool idea. I didn't know that. Let's see. Yeah, that was a really cool idea. I have no idea Craig Houston still a Treyarch. Any idea why he stepped down from writing? Samuel, he stepped down during BO6. He's back during BO7. So he stepped down for a year on sabbatical for personal reasons. So here we have a beautiful look of the ray gun. I want to know though, why did they make the ray gun look like this? Looks like my Lego ray gun, which I think goes to show how well that Lego ray gun is made. But hopefully my cat's not blind. It's not okay. Because like chat, spot the difference, okay? Like this is what mine looks like. That's what theirs looks like. Here, hold on, let me point it the right way so it's facing the way it's facing. Guys, it's like it's literally 1-to-1. It's the same thing. Maybe it's to show up the internals. Yeah, true. Good point. I'm so scared about that thing breaking. I spent a good amount of time building that. It looks like a plastic toy. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of what it is. But if you want to talk about it being the internals. Oh, screw you, Kindle. Kindle's very annoying about this. We are going to be dealing with this all stream. Hope you guys get comfy looking at this stuff. So, probably 200% is the best we're going to get. So, here are the internals. Looks pretty cool. I thought the ray gun was made for zombies. Porter just kept insisting that it should be. Yeah, which is really cool. So, I didn't know. As far as I'm aware, Porter is still working with them. He had testimonies all the way up to MWZ. I thought Porter left after like BO1 or BO2. I never hear anything about him. It's like a water gun being translucent. Yeah, that's true. All right. What's my next note? Page 15. All right. Here, real quick. This guy looks so cool. Like, I wish we got this design zombie. It's just like, it's just an officer. That's awesome. Oh, also, fun fact. It's funny. They'll say Nazi zombies, but during certain images, they blur out the word Nazi, which is really interesting. When we get to Kino, I'll point it out. Stanley ASMR video where he reads the entirety of the book. Yeah, literally. By the way, I feel like music is too quiet now. How is music? Let me turn it up just a little bit. I know you guys like the music more than I do, so. Okay, so here's Verrucht. It's weird. So the writer of this book constantly refers to the perks as power-ups. And at first I thought he was just like messing up, and I thought it was like the first error in the book. It's not. He just, it's a consistent thing. He refers to the perks as power-ups, and it's so weird to me. All right, this is the loading screen, but the most important piece of information is here on the left, the concept art for Verrucht. Yes, Reggie, the original developer of Zombies, Jesse Snyder, nearly got fired for putting the ray gun Easter egg in that campaign mission where you can get it from the lion mouths. He's quoted as saying that he got fired for it, or he almost got fired for it, yeah. Yo, Sky, what's up? Be the max Easter egg on Transit. Nice job. Simon's concept art gives me World War II vibes. Yeah, they did a really good job. Just like the iconography of it, the way it looks. It's so cool that Zombies shares that genetic DNA across different developing studios. It was terrible. Yeah, sounds about right. Paywall on Patreon. Well, it's free right now, so. All right, so this is more Verrucht concept art. What did I note? Yeah, I remember. Okay. Yeah, let's see. On page 16, I noted Robert Moffat perfectly encapsulates the growing mechanics introduced in Verrucht and why they're important to the player experience. Let me find where he said this. He said Robert Moffat, who I've never heard of before. He said, okay. Okay, this was Dan. Dan LaFair, Associate Director Narrative, remembers, after Knock came out, we spent hours watching high-round players' videos online. Some would hide away in one room with the mystery box and keep hitting it. So we got scheming. How do we make sure players can't beat future maps with a single strategy? That's why starting with Varuk, the box moves. Not maliciously, but as a way to shake things up. And I thought that was a really cool idea. You've got all these cool door concepts, the way the power room looks. This is really cool looking, especially with the box hidden right in the corner. You have Quick Revive up here, and that guy's face, I don't know who that is. They are technically power-ups? Yeah, they are, but I wouldn't have called them that. It was like just double meaning, because I consider power-ups power-ups. I find it really funny that talk is only 2 pages. We'll get to that. Early zombie concept looks like Resident Evil. Wait till you see the later concept art. It kind of looks the same. Fun fact, the trap is called the electroshock fence, which I didn't know was the name of the... I say again, this is just what we're gonna have to deal with. This is Kindle. I don't know why the app does this. If I zoom in too much, it does this weird auto zoom and I can't stop it. It pisses me off. So thankfully it's bigger on your guys' screen. I'd be interested in seeing if they use these at some point to create like uncommon zombie variants. The one with the arm Molotov creepily sewn would be cool to go up against. Yeah, we'll go back to that. That would be cool. Especially this guy with his like saber. It looks kind of like the Warden. Just, you know, German themed. Of course, we have the beautiful Coca-Cola machines. Absolutely divine. It's cool seeing the different like ways that they look. This one reminds me a lot of what's that one game? The one where you go underwater. The BioShock. That's what that reminds me of. With this design right here on the left. Will the stream be saved as a VOD? Always. My streams are always saved as VOD. You can watch them whenever you want. Have a little catalog on my channel. Fun fact, they call them Revive Soda, which is really interesting. And of course, there's an anecdote from Craig Houston. He said, where was his note? Yeah, so Craig came in to unlock his inner songwriter and riffed off some initial lyrics, but they're still bootstrap operations. So he stepped into the sound booth himself for the initial recording sessions. Which, in case you didn't know, Craig Houston sang a lot of the original perk jingles. Fun fact. I'd be interested to see if they use these. Oh, I read that already. Yeah, I agree. Got this in today, was pleasantly surprised how high quality the hardcover is. Raised texture cover. Yes. Super. Like, the fact that the hand is its own, like, item. Really cool idea. Perks are similar to plasmids. Yes, almost one-to-one in inspiration, which is really cool. When did BioShock come out? The original. I think it was after Zombies, if I'm not mistaken. And here we have Shinonuma, loading screen. A lot of these, it's like, we have a lot of these assets already, but it is nice to have them in one concise place. I will definitely be pulling a lot of this for screen grabs in the future. It stinks he didn't redo the QR jingle. I agree. It's kind of weird he didn't. Here is some... Please don't zoom me. Here are some beautiful Shinonuma artwork pieces. I like this little dock section here with the raised cover. I wish we got that in the actual map. That reminds me of the way that it looks in Resident Evil 7 when you're going over to the mom section. And you have like these like cool like bridges and the archways. It looks nice. 2008. Oh, really? It came out the same year? Oh, wow. Well, you know, similar ideas. But just like take a look to like take in what they're doing and like the environments that they build. It looks so nice. By the way, if I'm going too fast at all, please tell me. I can slow down at any time to go back through artwork, to go look at any images. But I've seen this and we have over 300 pages to get through. And I cannot be here for super long because my wife will be home from work eventually. And this is just to give you a quick overview to get you guys interested in buying it, because I think everyone should have it. Where are the ladies at? Dude, where are the ladies at? What's a girl gotta do? Yo, Shreem! Too much glare. Can you AI upscale these images? No joke. When I took a picture of this earlier for Twitter, I thought of that tweet. I felt so bad. So funny. Hold on, guys. Guys, hold on. Guys, let's AI upscale this image real quick. Okay, hold on. It's not even getting a bad glare. It's actually it looks too nice still. Hold on. The ring light. If I turn this off, how would this look? Yeah, you still get glare. Doesn't matter. Wow, shiny. Okay. This track, I know. Speaking of cool ways to honor people. Here is a beautiful Wonderwaff breakdown. Absolutely gorgeous look at a fan favorite Wonder Weapon. You should have. Josh was debating tweeting that too. I mean, I tweeted my own image, but it wasn't like I wasn't trying to make fun of Queen. It's whatever. Song is peaked. Such a good track. Brian did such a great job. Mine's coming for a few more days. Canada moment. Yeah, I would recommend if you can, if you want to look at it already, I'd recommend buying the Kindle version, making an American Amazon account. Buy the Kindle version. High quality. Really like it. It's only 20 bucks too. It's really cheap. No Emomatic plus a reference plus Blundell not knowing what it was makes me think it might have been an elaborate hoax. No, it's in the game. We know it's in. It was just never used. Emomatic was talked about a few times, and I just don't think Blundell knew about it. I'd be shocked if it really was a hoax. I feel like it's in the game files as far as I'm aware. But here's the beautiful Wonderwaff. Here are the early depictions of the Hellhounds. These ones in particular, I like a lot. They remind me a lot of the finished product. It literally is in the files. Yeah, that's what I thought. Isn't it literally in the files? Yeah. But these guys look really cool, especially with the katanas. Imagine they came with those and they actually fought with them. Which I guess we did get that in Kawakujo with the ancient samurai using little like short knives, but still. Checking out your tweets earlier, definitely gonna cop the digital version. You have to. Here is this beautiful look of all the character bios, where they come from, quick little background histories. This is just simple stuff, but it's cool. The only thing I wish is that I wish they switched Takio and Dempsey so that they align with their text blurbs, because Richtofen and Nikolai do. What do I know? Okay, beautiful old Doris. I'm not sure. Let me pull this up, actually. I've been meaning to do this since I got home. Let me pull up some footage real quick, because I'm pretty sure if you load up Doris, it does have the SS right here, so I'm pretty sure they changed that for this book to use the more modern Doris. I want to pull it up. Where's the loading screen? Oh, I need co-op gameplay. Yeah, here's the SS, but in the actual book, they use an updated render of it with the updated Iron Cross, not Iron Cross, but the like the bars basically. So they took out a bit of Nazi imagery, which doesn't shock me, but they call them Nazi zombies in the book, and you're gonna see other references scrubbed away later. A little weird. I thought that was funny. I've been needing to check this out for a while now. That's the BO1 loan screen version. Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. Do I have a keynote? Yeah, I do actually. Hold on. Oh, wow. What do you know it is? Huh. Well, color me surprised. Chat, I'm washed. I'm actually a LARPer. Thank you guys. You guys are correct. Thanks. Wish they talked more about the development of each map in more detail, especially cut content is very little information about text in the code. I totally agree, but this book kind of works more as a compendium, and I'm not shocked they didn't go with that. There's already 300 pages. They have a lot to cover, and I understand the frustration of them not going into too much with them, but I feel like at that point the book would be too big. The book over on the unfinished maps, the only reference we get is Paris. That's it. Most other stuff you don't see. They're using the BO1 versions for all of them. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, that's totally fair. Fun fact, in the Doris section, you can see an unused blade trap used in the factory furnace area. Back here on the wall. Let me zoom in a bit more. Hope it doesn't mess it up. So you can see the stairs that lead up to Double Tap right back here. This is a cut section of the room. Usually the door is right here to go out to the spawn area. But right here there's a saw blade trap. Josh! What's up, dude? My Sigma, hello? Josh, dude. Feels like Christmas right now. This is a cut room. This is right next to the power switch. This room was originally going to be in development. This is a door that you could buy right here, but all this whole section was cut. Wish Chaos got more, maybe Atlantis. Yeah, I agree. Would have been cool to learn about a little more of the unfinished Chaos maps. I agree, but they don't really go into that. Isn't that where the electric trap is? No. Oh, you might be right, because then... Does this wall lead outside? Maybe I'm wrong. You might be right. Because then this wall would lead outside to Speed Cola. This is where the electric trap is. You might be right, actually, yeah. So anyways, I guess at one point they had another trap planned, but they went back to the electric trap for time. Another collision underneath the catwalk window? Yes. Right here. Because it's through this door right here that you could... There's collision. The book is 300 pages. Yep. You can't see it. I have it... I cut out the bottom of my screen, but it's 300 pages. Let's see. So, fun fact, the mystery box was originally going to feature stickers that were going to show you all the different maps that were going to be in World at War. So it was going to feature, this is Varuk right here, Shinonuma, Darice, and then no Kino, but Paris. According to Colin Whitley, says the team played with the idea of the zombies box traveling to all the maps we planned for the season. These can be seen in stickers applied to the box. A few of these maps never made it into World at War, but some elements were repurposed for future releases, which is really cool. They messed up Takio's end cutscene quote and that's about section on the quote 159. Love the book, but the amount of typos and sometimes wrong info is hilarious. I counted 9 big errors. So if that's another one, that's 10. I had missed that one. So I'll have to go back to it. Someone say something out of a December holiday. Yeah, they did. But yes, there's not a lot of cut content here. There is a lot of just showing things off. This is a massive book. So if you're looking for like all the secrets of like what maps didn't make into development, you're going to see very few. Paris is really the only one that's mentioned. Here is a prototype of the MTD, the main teleporter that houses the Pack-a-Punch. And here are all of the original Pack-a-Punch variants. A lot of these were not seen until recently in an official merch drop where they put them on a shirt. I wish I knew how to read. Yeah, I mentioned this earlier in the stream. We're not going to be going through each text blurb bit by bit. This would take us over 6 hours to do, and I have work tomorrow. So we're going over mainly the art. But I cannot recommend enough buying this. Physical. Digital. There's a way to get this book. Believe me. And if you don't live in America, make an American Amazon. Get it for 20 bucks. It's pretty cheap. That's like, what? 2 sandwiches nowadays. Sandwiches are not cheap. Imagine how much cool concept art got made for World War II zombies and how good his art direction was. At times, we're never going to see it. I need it. I agree, but they're locked away in a Sledgehammer archive somewhere. Yo, what's up, Woods? Also, B-Rad. Dude, brother, good to see you, man. I forgot to say hi to you. Here is the Monkey Bomb, originally with a exposed brain before adding a little tiny hat to him. Playing BO1 and BO2 ports gave me a special feeling because Classic Zombies is my favorite. I can't blame you. Classic Zombies is awesome. It is just as cool as modern zombies, if not cooler, I would say. I'm broke right now. Well, that's what this stream is for. So all the brokies, I can't blame you. Like how one of the pap looks like the back of a car. Funny coincidence. Oh yeah, hold on. Oh yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, like the back of a like a 50s car. That's a really cool catch. Shang is the most revealing, I'd say, but you can find most of the stuff. Yes, exactly. I think that's why they have it, is because Raven kept most of the artwork. And all those are Raven's art they did for the map before they forwarded development to Treyarch. So yeah, I wonder if Tessie was a callback to that. It's a good idea. So, fun little fact, this has been referenced in various interviews, but it's really nice to get a confirmed written account for it. According to Brian Toohey, audio director, when the first map, Nocturne Totem, was released, we were checking out the reactions online. Somewhere a player said that they thought they heard one of the zombie noises sounding like it was saying Sam. It wasn't Colin Ayers, senior sound designer. It was just a noise. Sham! But someone on a forum somewhere was speculating if there was an overlord or some character this zombie is remembering named Sam. And we were all like, Toohey says, we started talking about who Sam could be. Eventually, we liked the idea of a little girl at the center of all this, and Sam became the perfect example of game elements being inspired by the fans. And if you ask me, that's really cool. Hi, Lobster. What's up, dude? Did Raven do all the work for Shang, or did they do most of it? As far as I'm aware, it was a co-work between Raven and Treyarch, but Raven did a lot of the map. It would be an understatement to say that they did most of it. Here is the beautiful moon artwork. This was originally only seen in an advertisement for DLC 4 Resurrection. So it's really cool to get the full artwork of this permanently. This is such a nice looking shot. The moon man losing his arm, the main guy we're looking at, like the reflection of the zombies in it, the Ascension zombies bouncing around. This is easily some of the best artwork they've ever done for zombies. It's one of my favorites. Brain Toohey, shut up. The Goat Moon having the coolest artwork. Literally, right? All right, and here is a stylized artwork for 5. I have literally no idea where this comes from, and if they just put a filter over the 5 intro. Needs more AI-generated loading screens. What's up, Pigpen? How you doing, man? Here is some beautiful artwork of 5. I like this shot right here. The look of... Oh, Kindle, I will actually kill you. By the way, this is... I can't zoom in. This is as close as I can get without it messing up. So this is what we gotta deal with. So here's a look of the labs pre-lockdown, post-lockdown with the orange and the lights. That's a really cool idea to help kind of make everything look different. And finally, here is some early artwork of Samantha Maxis. And I really like this artwork. You can tell how inspired it is. But I also like the idea that they were really desperate to give her something to hold, because both of these images have like balloons before they gave her Teddy. And they're just like, she's got to hold some. Oh, Teddy's right there. They're like, she's got to hold something. So balloons were the first thing they came up with, which I think is a really cool idea. Fun fact, they say that the Brat was an early design for Sam. This was a, basically, I assume an enemy, eventually repurposed for Sam in the story. Entirely different. Here is a cool look at the Winter's Howl. You have the Pentagon Thief before his name was Yuri. His name is literally just the Thief. He has a mustache and beard, which looks really weird. And a ton of concept art for the Winter's Howl, which we've had access to for a very long time now, but it's really cool to see it in full. So they say, I like this testimony of the Winter's Howl. They say not only does the Winter's Howl destroy zombies by freezing them to death until they shatter into corpuscles, but also later round enemies not killed instantly are slowed down by the frigid blast. Yo, Mark, this is a really easy way to say it sucks. But I appreciate the testimony. All right, here is beautiful Kino der Toten. This is one of my favorite comic book loading screens. I like just the way that it evolves and the way that they represent each map in simple ways. Noct is just the zombies. Verrucht is more zombies. Shinonuma is when the characters first get introduced, and then you have Darius where they get teleported, and then just the simple way that it transitions time. It says so much with saying so little, which is why I think it's so funny that in co-op they have a radio over Richtofen expressly explaining how the time travel works. Is this the best zombies map of all time? Best zombies map of all time, Kino der Toten, Black Ops 1. And then here's just more beautiful artwork of Kino. Eventually these walls would get knocked down, a barrier would be erected here, and they would put a turret in the middle with Speed Cola in the back. And here, this is just beautiful artwork. I'm just gonna hang on it for a moment. It looks really nice. It's so cool to see all this. And we also get full, I don't know if these are full high res or if they're AI upscaled. I hope they're not AI upscaled. I assume that they are. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're the official artwork. Nothing looks too off about them as far as I can tell. But here are all the original artworks for the posters around the map. I like seeing them all together. The colors, usually Pygmalion looks completely washed out, so it's really nice to see it look pink, help stand up between the orange and the blues of Faust and Die Bismarck. Then the map got redesigned for custom map futuristic theme, yeah. Fun fact, Kino was also going to feature those cut saw traps, which is really cool, even though they're not in the game at all. You can tell they really wanted to get it in for blood. Glitching Queen helped with this page. Man, you guys are having a field day with that one. And then we also get a beautiful look of the in-screen. These are typically, you can only see these in files or in map, the film reel. Now, something I wanted to note about is that I'm pretty sure in the actual thing, this does say Nazi right here, and this is they obscured the swastika. But I don't know if they're just using the international versions of this, or if they purposely obscured it. I assume it's international. These don't look edited. But they look really cool, especially like when you get to zoom in and look at them in full. Especially this early look of Dr. Maxis. Minecraft trapdoor, yeah, literally. But I think the coolest image is the last four. You have the zombies attacking the Pentagon, and you have what looks like a literal German war machine just on White House grounds. No idea what this thing is. Never explained. Just here. Just cool. This image is really funny. Oh, there's that robot again. Yeah, they just had robots, and they just never used, like, not until Origins is that extrapolated on. My cat is very upset right now. He just had dinner, and he wants to know why he can't have second dinner. Here is a wonderful look at the Thunder Gun. For some reason, they have different fusion cells for it, which I think looks really cool. Kind of gives it this look of, like, it's an elemental wonder weapon. Seriously, so cool. I love zombies. Right? Is this basically the IRL Chronorium? Yeah, it might as well be. Is that where that old image of Ultimus Maxis comes from? Yes, it comes from Kino. They use this exact image right here, and this is the one that went around for a while. It was never confirmed to be Maxis, but this is the one that people ran with for a very long time. And eventually it did get confirmed. or not confirmed. It's pretty much Maxis. There was no other way around it. That was his design for the longest time. The Thunder Gun looks fantastic. Just like the way it looks, the different fusion cells. Oh, what a cool looking water weapon. Here are the Nova Crawlers. But originally when they just look all lanky and they look like these really big weirdo stalker creatures. According to the developers, originally when they mocapped them, the animations they thought were too slow, so they literally sped them up. And that's what gives them their creepy kind of stop motion-y look. Please don't break anything. Thank you. Looks like a Ravager? Yeah, especially this one does. You can tell that definitely came back in later entries. Please tell me this works. Please stop. Will you let me do what I want to do and not mess with me? No? Okay, that's fine. All right, this is the closest we're getting is 200%. It's not going to let me do anything else, so we're just going to have to deal with that. Dude. When I say Kindle is very difficult to work with, this is what I'm talking about. World at War felt oddly scary. It's because they were developing a scary game. Yo, Doom-Man. Hey, gamer. Been a while. Mine came in this morning. This book is awesome. Welcome, dude. Good to see you. What's your favorite part of the book? We'll get to there. There's a ton of favorite parts of this book. Here is, don't tell Core, but there's a bald man here. That bald man could be Gersh. We don't know. Yeah, it's not working right. I had to set it like this. Here is the lab room leading up to power. This was a massively redesigned room. By redesign, definitely had a lot of the tasks taken out of it. What games does this include? World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Cold War, MWZ, Vanguard, and Black Ops 6. That's a model of Woods. Is it? It doesn't look like Woods. Was Woods bald? Oh, also, I'm just going to skip right to it. In the Ascension section, they mentioned having score streaks, which is really interesting. There are all these posters for an airstrike, using artillery strike, using an auto turret. It references the various posters really going to allow players to purchase score streak or kill streaks, but ended up as set dressing. That's Hudson. You're right. My bad. Where is it? Troishkadal. They said that they just felt it was a natural fit to use them alongside having the character models over them. The Gersh device. Where? Am I dumb? Where's the... Did I miss it? One of these artworks shows off the missing double tap area. Am I blind? There it is, right here. I missed it. I literally walked right over it. So this area is a cut area of the map. Here is the 4th lander location. At this section, this takes place right outside where you go up to where Pack-a-Punch is. This left platform up here on this right side of the window is where the Shadow Man hides in the Chronicles version. This part of the area would have included double tap. It's also why it was cut from the map. Can't believe Ascension was almost modern zombies, and you take a step back. Old zombies was almost modern zombies. Auditor Posters is in Sam's room, right? Is it? I have no idea. I don't remember. There is a lot to this franchise. I only know so much. Yeah, so right down here is the double tap building. It would go to the left right here to this door if you go out to where Pack-a-Punch is. But here's to look at the lunar lander platforms. The way they look is just fantastic. All right, and here we have the space monkeys. I think these images are hilarious. 90 viewers? No way. Are we really at 90? Oh! Well, welcome in, everyone, as we talk about this art book. Hi. Welcome all my little Larry lurkers. Can't blame me, I'm a Larry lurker myself. So, hi, what's up, best day ever? I thought this stream would get like 20 viewers maximum. It would be so real with you guys. So thank you for stopping by. This image of like the monkey. I hate you, Kindle. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Okay, you're looking at 20%. This image of the monkey is hilarious to me. It reminds me of this. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this up. Monkey haircut. I think it's the monkey haircut image. It's all AI. No! AI has ruined everything. This monkey's got experimental. Yep. Anyways, this image of the monkey just strapped to the chair is also just a really funny image. Mr. Banana, we're going to chain you to this chair. Yes, we're going to send you to the stars. Okay, next up is Call of the Dead. So Call of the Dead originally worked with these, like, take a look at them. There's different lighting aspects. You have a green Call of the Dead, a orange one, a dark blue one. Gorgeous. Just everything about the art for this map. This shot right here of the boats, like, washed up on the shore, the fog slowly revealing this large, just standalone lighthouse. The dark blue, the light blue frozen staircase. They had banana collide on the map. The monkeys would have been able to handle it. They got bananas. Called it if it was Archon, literally. Here is a shot of Call of the Dead with 5 different playable characters. And you also have Hellhounds originally thought about on the map, which is a really interesting idea. I like that you can see almost immediately the level design. In this one shot right here, you have the beach right here. You have the boat up to power, the zip line, which is originally the gondola from Shangri-La or Shinonuma. You have the lighthouse perfectly going left upside the mountaintop up to it. Like, they had that much mapped out in one piece of concept art. And you know it's early because none of the faces are done. Freddy Krueger is barely drawn here. You have Sarah Michelle Gellar with pigtails. Everything's in black and white. Oh my gosh. With Path Call that went down, it seems like it was destined to be an all-timer. Yeah, they were firing on all cylinders. And if you can, chat, buy this book, read the testimonies. They're just as important and cool to read. They talk about, like, the first time they were adding, like, kelp and bloated aspects to the zombies. Oh, no. I'm on page... Oh, we're coming up on it right now. Yeah. So okay, here's something that's really weird that I'm pretty 95% sure is an error. So, it's red right here. For Call of the Dead, that meant sprawling across a feature-filled environment where players navigate a shipwreck freighter, usable boats, which was cut from the map, a towering lighthouse, and an icy coastline. The dev team also created a new fast travel mechanism in the Flinger, a platform that launches players across the battlefield and pairs great with PhD Flopper for maximum impact landings. Dog, you cannot use PhD while on that Flinger, but it's a nice try to just insert that in the book, just complete fiction. By the way, I'm calling out errors, but this book is really well written. There's like 10 errors total. There's very few in 300 pages. But I will be pointing out the errors. This beautiful ice slide render, like, whose map is this? This is gorgeous. Look at this. The blues, the purples, the greens. Oh my gosh. I would want to live here. This, like, this Arctic heaven of just pretty colors and nice bright lights. Oh my gosh. Okay, next up is Shangri-La. Now, a lot of this concept art is not attributed to Raven, but Raven did a lot of the work you're going to see here. So let's go over it. This is, anything that looks like this was explicitly, what's the right word? Outsourced to Raven. So any artwork that looks like this. I'm not sure if this artwork was Raven's, but this artwork especially. You're going to see a lot of them that look like this. That looks reused for Dead Ops. Yeah, right? Speed Racer. Deep colors actually remind me of Tog. Yeah, they were on the back. So more Raven artwork. This is when the map was a lot more temple-y and dungeon crawly. This is Treyarch's artwork right here. You can see a lot more of the finished build of the map. This is where you go out here, there's a geyser, and you go back to spawn. This is the same area from the other angle. Any artwork that looks like this, it's called Tunnel Rats. This is Raven's. Raven's also right here. Raven artwork. All of this is Raven. Raven envisioned a map with a ton of traps. You had a Hindu statue that could slap, grab, crush you, a head that spins around fire, a grinder, a room with a stone boss, magma filling the area, a rolling ball, a Punji Trap 1, Punji Trap 2. They really wanted Punji Traps in this map. Punji Trap 3, Punji Trap 4. And they literally came up with 5 different Punji Traps. You got the log trap from Rave. You got a bridge from Indiana Jones, a vertical Punji Trap, the floor. Like, they wanted that in the map. Hopping in. What's up, Clover? Didn't they confirm Shang was also on Mars? They did multiple times. Yes. Really funny. Seems Shang has no traps. Yeah, right. I know. Here is more Raven artwork. This is when they were doing a tunnel design, very similar to Buried. You had multiple sprawling pathways and maze-like arenas, but it all kind of looped around to endpoints if you kept running forward. Here's a hidden and raised area, which presumably would have had Pack-a-Punch, a giant lower cave with water in it. You have this section right here. It's part of the talk section where they refer to I saw that. We'll get over that. They refer to them as Victus, and then they call them Transit for no reason. I agree. I noticed that too, Josh. Here is more Raven artwork. Again, Temple. They have this massive concept for a room. Every single spot has a ton of dev notes about barriers, where zombies are going to come out of the ground. It looks great. By the way, am I yelling? Am I yelling too much? Let me know. I feel like I'm yelling. High Moon recently giving zombies a spin. I'd like to see another map with major influences from another studio like Raven. Yeah, I agree. Here is more Raven artwork. You have multiple variants of the Shrink Ray. I'm pretty sure I actually have this on my PC. Hold on. Should be... Do I have this? Should be calling. Should be one of my concept art photos. W, cut content. Should be in this one. Yeah, here are all. So there were even more designs that didn't even make the art book. These were different ideas for the Shrink Ray. You're going to notice most of these did not make it into the art book. They kept it very simple to this design right here. So for example, you can't even see this part of the image right here. So like if I show you. So like here's the image right here. And then here it is right here again. You can't even see that. It's so funny. Do I have any more Shang? No. Yeah, but here are all the cut ones. They didn't include any of these in the art book. But it also keeps the gemstone aspect, which is really cool. Here are the napalm zombies. They did not use Raven's artwork for this one. Raven also made a ton of cut artwork for this. It should be... Where's my zombie? I know what it looks like. Yeah, they had these designs for them. These were completely different designs that they outsourced to another studio before making Shang. Shang was a map that seems like it was in heavy development with a lot of different ideas. We'd love to see a Shangri-La reimagined time map with cut content. Yeah, I agree. Here are more of our good old little monkey fans. This guy is nightmare fuel right here. Like, stop looking at me like that. Shang was not fully realized. No, Shang was fully realized. I think Shang has a lot to it. I think we all underestimate how many ideas they throw at the wall. And anything that actually makes it into a zombies map means that it was like one of 30 different contending ideas. If, let me pull up Mob of the Dead, for example. Mob of the Dead had over like 13 different enemies designed for it. Like Kevin Drew suggested a rat at one point in development. Like if you guys want to see how many ideas they put into these maps. Here's a breakdown of Mob of the Dead, for example. Here is literally everything that goes into this map. And over half of these are cut. Like this is a pretty finished product, but most of these ideas never make it into the main map. If I could find it. I know there's a whole section that has like them talking about enemies, but I might be wrong. Anyways, just so you know, a ton of stuff usually gets cut on the cutting room floor. If you guys saw the amount of stuff that gets cut from these maps, you would probably say pretty much every single map in Zombies history is like unrealized vision. For example, when Origins was called La Tomb, originally each of the main characters were going to be the fathers of the Ultimus crew, with like Dempsey's being a Scottish guy. But anyways, again, leaked docs on stream definitely getting taken down. No, we're fine. Literally, Gaming Revolution has posted like half his videos on BO3 with the docs on screen. We're fine. They show the other Vietnam zombie designs in the book. I know, right? I agree. Do they confirm they based Vietnam originally? Let me check. I don't think so. I read through this and they only go through Shang. They don't mention Vietnam at all. But most of these were for Vietnam. Yes. Am I going to cover the entire book or just most? We're going through the whole book until we're done. We're already 14% through the book. We are 58 pages in. Here is Moon's loading screen. High quality look at the comic book right here. And of course, another great look at the Moon Men marching across. But yeah, we are absolutely talking about the whole thing. We don't stop. This is my channel. And for one of the very few pieces of cut content you're going to see in this video or in this stream, Paris. This is our only look. And this is the first look anyone's ever seen of Paris. There's never been any cut content for it. There's never been any leaked images besides the single image that we know about on Darius. This is the one image we have of Paris. And it would have included the catacombs in a dark, twisted place with a teleporter underneath the Eiffel Tower. I know, right? This is like the most... Okay, this might hype it up a bit, but this is the most like important thing that they put in the entire book. Isn't the Tomb Origins at Paris? It's in France, but not Paris. I wonder if this is a paint over screenshot. Could be. But usually what they do is they work the other way around. They usually create paints, they make artwork, and then they implement them into the game. Like, let me find a good example of this. Hold on. So, like, for example, this is the ice slide area coming out into Speed Cola. They usually create these designs first and then work their way backwards into building them to the actual environment. You're going to see a ton of that throughout this stream. Okay, here is more looks at Moon. You have excavation tunnels. You have the power area with the box right here. You have stamina up tunnel. All this different technology in this way the base looks. It's a lot more rugged in the actual map. You have the biodome with like water puddles, and you have each of the the jump pads held up by different like weights, which is a really cool idea before they just made them float in the sky. Do you think there's more stuff not shown? Absolutely, but they didn't include it. By the way, on Moon, they included a submarine in the concept art. Like, huh? What do you mean there's a submarine here? Like, look at that. Is that not a submarine? Like, it's just a spaceship submarine? Strange, yeah, right? I know, it's like, it's just in this book. Yo, Leviathan, yeah, right? Like this looks like something from Leviathan. You think Leviathan actually had that information? Here is a look at the MPD with... I like how they have soldiers, like, silhouetted for scale. Marine Lagoon, welcome. Did they ever mention the tower defense thing? They did not. They bring up... We'll go to Dead Ops. They're going to bring up the fact that they had ideas for top-down, but they don't bring up the tower defense specifically. Yeah, we'll get to that next. Yep. Okay. Beautiful look at the wave gun. They go into the very arduous development of trying to make it work, which I think is really interesting, the way that they try and make the mesh work. Apparently, the max wave gun and the wave gun are two different weapon tables in your inventory. So when they put them together, it's just an animation swap, but the game's switching your weapons. Those are side relation characters. Who are what side relation characters? If Rexon first sticks to landing, I'm going to have a hard time placing it lower than first, even with me loving every inch of it before. It's definitely top 3 for me, Parker Davis, 100%. Okay, cool look at the QED. The beautiful QED. Moon's a challenging map, not going to lie. Yeah. And here's our nice look at the Cosmonaut. He's a little fruity with it. He'll be like, I'm coming to steal your perks. What's up? Watch out. How you doing? Supposedly Tower Defense game mode was made by Iron Galaxy. I don't believe that. Because I've been told it was just in the files. It was just in the build that they were given. Because they were given a very early build. What's up, Dan? QED? QED. The QED. Are those runes on the QED? Let's find out. Runes. Oh my gosh, there are. I'd never seen that before. Huh, what do you know? Yeah, right. Wish we had the factions logo. They didn't put that in there. Okay, and in Dead Ops, they specifically mention... they put it into the background a bit. Let's see. After the success of World at War Zombies, Dave Anthony, the executive producer in Black Ops, pulled me aside with a pretty straightforward request. Time was tight, less than 12 months to launch. He wanted another zombies-based mode he could keep in his back pocket and potentially ship with Black Ops. The ask was simple but restrictive. I want something with zombies in it, but it can't be anything like our current zombies mode. And we don't have anyone we can put it on. So it sounds to me like the tower defense mode that we saw was one of the concepts came up with it before they created Dead Ops. Yeah, right. But no, so fun fact, the Cosmic Silverback is actually referred to as a Simian knot, which I think is a really cool name. Also, this artwork of the Cosmic Silverback looks really nice. It's just like, it's so gory and like freakish and just the right amount of weight. Like the chains on him. I like the head more inside the helmet. I think it looks creepier. But I get why they didn't go with it. You also have the Engineer Zombie, which, as they state, originally designed as a boss for Call of the Dead. That's me. Okay, let's go on to Black Ops 2 with our beautiful splash art of Buried, which is funny because we recently just got the splash art for the rest of the maps too in high quality from the Leaf build. Shadow Throne Gorilla. How's the Shadow Throne? Dead Ops looks like an Evolution Tower Defense mode. Yep. Okay, here is the artwork of Transit. You can find most of these in survival map variants. Although I will say, this is I can't tell if I'm going to be nice here. Look at that face, chat. That might be an AI up-res face, because everything else looks fine. But this guy's got a bit of a problem. It looks like a face walker, I'm not going to lie. Everything else looks perfectly fine, though. I'd say it's their face. But I also can't tell if this is just the design of it, and, you know, they weren't meant to be viewed in high quality. These are very simple sketches at the end of the day. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but a little sus, not gonna lie. That guy's always looked like that. Oh, he has? Okay, cool. All right, Transit. Fun fact. This Transit sign is used in the original development documents of Transit. I think it's literally used in Terror to Go. Nope, not that one. Is it Story? Here we go. So this sign was originally used in the story concept pitch by David Vonderhaar and Jimmy Zielinski for Transit. This is when they were like pitching the story, who the characters were. This is before they even had any of the forecast like laid out. They're all like literally concept art. No Russman. But yeah, so that's where this comes from. They cut that out of that. Here is our beautiful Tedathan. That's how people looked in 2025. Here he is. Ted, yeah, baby. Those photos, yep. Those are old stock photos. They used whatever they could back then. They are not fancy development documents. Okay, here is a better look at Bus Depot back when it had a wind generator. The 115 Meteor was more present at Crashed In. The bunker that we never get to access. They really put a lot into this area. Mr. Task himself. Here, they go through every area. Here's the tunnel. The diner. Orange. Now Ted's an operator in Black Ops. How times have changed. Here is a wonderful look at farm. Like the fact that the silo in the farmhouse is farther up and the only area is this big hill right here. That's cool. The cornfield looks so freakish. I love like the haunting blues and the fog like riding over it, and the way that, like you see the grain in the water pipes running over it. It looks so nice. All right. And of course, the beautiful power station. You've got Avogadro pulling his best cane right here. And then you got, honestly, a much slicker looking power room. I kind of like the way this looks. With the bunker. The bunker. Looks very Halloween themed, yeah, right? And then there's the way that the, just this looks. This looks gorgeous right here. I wish this door kept in, not the really crappy shutter that they kept in the main map. Avogadro, look at him. So, according to the development, the Avogadro was supposed to be featured in Black Ops 1, and then he was going to carry over into BO2. I need this art book. Highly recommend. Got the cabin right here. You got the bridge. We got the town. So, fun fact about this town artwork right here. This was used in the original, in most builds of Black Ops 2 up until the, like, pretty much close to the finished build. The Earth UI was not put into the game. This build right here features this town image. We've never had the official fully high res, completely non-obscured image. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's called Meat? No. I might not be able to find it, but this image was used a lot back in the day by the developers. They used it in a ton of places. I might not have it. Yeah, I don't think I have it. Anyways, if you ever look at any old Black Ops 2 loading screens when you're playing BO2 zombies, this image will be in the background, and it looks gorgeous. That would have made for a beautiful skybox? Yeah, right? Transit aesthetic is unmatched. Yep. Here's more of town. Here's more of the middle. Isn't that part of the meat mode? Yes, this was art used for the meat mode. What they did, yeah, you're right. They added the yellow barrier, and you throw meat over it. Let me pull up that image. Thank you to the near 100 people watching. If we pull it up, we should be able to find it. Here's the scoreboard. This is when they reloaded it back. Here it is. It's this image right here. But it's, you know, here it is. Found it. Yes, so what they did was they heavily modified the... I do not trust that. So here's the image. This is what we're used to. Here's what it actually looks like before it was all edited and completely mangled beyond belief. Hang on. Why is there a cat in this song? Anyways. So here's the meat image. This is the one that we've had for years. And then we never got full access to this image. It was always obscured by the UI, but now we have it, which is a really big find. Because when you go into the bowling alley, nope, only custom map. Here is a nice look at the jet gun and tombstone. Good old tombstone with nice gray and whites. More traps, and here's a good old image of the denizen. We've had this image for a long time now. Treyarch barge or cat, yeah, literally. Yeah, you're thinking of town. I saw the reimagined and remastered woods. Good old denizen, little creepy monkey guy. Here is the Avogadro. So according to Peter Lom, these sketches were exploring different ways we could approach the look with the theme. I sketched the idea was constant pain. No, they mentioned another. Here it is. Originally a character design for Black Ops that would evolve in future games. So they wanted an enemy that you would have to fight constantly, which I think is honestly really cool. Wish they kind of kept that concept for the Avogadro, but I wonder what map he would have been on. So fire, yeah, right. So fire. And finally, you guys wanted to see him. I wanted to see him. Here you got Stuhlinger with his fishing vest and his little pudgy chest. A very, very Alice in Wonderland looking Misty with a different looking eye shape. You've got good old Marlton, who looks like he's covered in smoke, or he's black. I can't really tell. The coloring on him looks very different. And then good old Russman. Did you guys know that Russman has a fireman's boot? I didn't know that. It's literally on his model. It's really throwing me off. Dude, C-3PO with a silver leg type moment. So according to expert character artist Michael Mahan, it helps communicate how the team is surviving. I always appreciate the idea of Russman's fireman boot. Didn't know that. He looks Eastern Asian. Okay, yeah. Well, before they made him a white nerd, this is what he looked like. The alternate timeline with the Avogadro was the Mangler. Yeah, right. Imagine. Me when I stick the fork in the electrical socket and get cartoon electrified. Yeah, right. Looks like Glenn. Oh, he does. Yeah, from Walking Dead. Martin looks Indonesian, Indian. Yeah, here's the thing. It's very ethnically ambiguous, and it's throwing me off. I'll be honest. I'm used to my white boy. There's a wall by inside the bowling alley used for the race game mode. Not in the main map, but maybe in the race game mode. If you can find that, let me know. Okay, Nuketown. We get a beautiful look at the Nuketown loading screen. Wow, look, it's the drill that never gets explained, ever. It's just a drill. That's it. They're never explaining it. And here is gorgeous looking concept art of Nuketown. I think I'm just going to stay here for a second. Just let us all take it in, because it looks amazing. I think Marlton was supposed to not be white. He always had Darkened Collection BO2. Yeah, but they changed it, so who knows? Did we ever see the drill? No, the drill is in no official 3D modeled capacity. The most we get is this 2D image and the image in the comics. Okay, while you guys are catching up, let me pull it up. This comment should be... Here. This is the closest we get to the drill. And we also get Schuster's revealed here, too. Like, this is a thing in Nuketown. And we just never get to see it. Nuketown loading screen always confused me. Well, it was eventually built upon in the Victus comics, and this is all we get. We don't even get it in Alpha Omega. So. Again, this thing, I don't... Love the artbook. Seeing all this is so cool. Yeah, right? Alright, more destroyed UI. I think we've had this image for a very long time. The one on the left. I remember this one distinctly. The way, like, the radiation seeps in the poison water. Anyways, Biggs, welcome. Here is more look at some zombie inhabitants. Originally, they were going to have melted mannequins and mutated zombies and zombies falling apart. Kind of wish they went with some of these designs. They look really cool. Like mannequins with half faces off. That would be really unique. I was like a UFO? Yeah, right. This guy's hand melting into his dog. It's the map from Black Ops 7. It's Paradox Junction. All right. And finally, we have Die Rise. Oh, by the way, in the transit section, they're referred to as Victus. Hold on. Where's they say Victus? It'd be in the beginning. Let's see. Victus. You're going to have to trust me on this one. No, hold on. Is it here? You're going to have to trust me on this one. Because I'm blanking on where there it is, Victus. Please display courtesy to the Omnic driver beyond the Victus crew. They call him Victus. Peak Rise. Josh, I'll be honest, dude. Die Rise has been really coming around to me recently. I've been liking it so much more. All right. Here is more wonderful look. This is Die Rise splash art. I've always wanted the full of it. It would make a beautiful poster. Fun fact, Who's Who was called Chugabud. I've never seen any of this concept art for it, though. Like, the way, like, any of the previous sketches for it, the designs, this image with this lady and her skeleton. I don't know why she's half naked, but I guess that's what the sign they decided to go with. But the star of the show is just this one right here. Oh, my gosh. If you don't pay rent, they'll evict us. Here's the elevator shaft. This is used in the intro cutscene. Zombies community is forgiven. Die Rise. Hold your horses. I got problems with it, but I'm coming around to it a lot more. It's definitely a lot better than Transit, I'll tell you that. We got the Goo Gun, the Swicklifier. They mentioned that they thought it was funny to just add a mannequin foot to it, which I think is funny too. It shows creativity. We have the Jumping Jacks, which they're just here. Let's see. Where was the note that I had on them? Jumping Jacks leap into the air. Enemy types. Like round the player ability to teleport. Yeah, they have the ability to teleport short distances. They teleport in, but they don't teleport. So, I want to say thanks for showing us this. I ordered a copy. It's coming Friday. Well, that's awesome. I'm happy I can show it all to you guys. Get you guys interested in this thing. I think it's awesome. Here's a trample steam with a good old screen door on it. You get to launch, go, whew. Okay, and now we're on Mob of the Dead. They talk about hiding secrets in the loading screen to clue players into what's happening, tips and tricks on what to do. Like, the way that they tell you so much without having a single expanded tutorial is a really cool idea. Peak is playing? Yeah, it's playing. Here's more look at Mob of the Dead, specifically its world loading screen, where you can pick Mob of the Dead, Cell Block, I think just those two. And then we have sketches for what's called Bait, which if I had to assume, I assume that's the concept that we have 115 people in here. Thank you everyone for watching. If I'm not mistaken, that's the, that would evolve into the Richtofen head for Mob of the Dead, which would be eventually reported back in by modders. It's this head, so I assume it's that. Oh, what's up? What's up, pizza? So anyways, here's this is probably an early concept for that. It should have stayed Chugabud. Sounds better. It makes the drink inspiration more obvious. And I agree. Okay. Here's some more Mob of the Dead concept art. Beautiful looking island. We see a better shot of this in the Blood of the Dead intro cutscene. You can even see the bridge that would eventually go into Blood of the Dead from the recreational yard to the west side. Or east side, whichever side. West side. Okay. Here's some more looks at the way the island looks. More cool imagery. This is a really cool shot right here. So within the warden's office, you have a quote by Dante. The more a thing is perfect, the more it feels pleasure in pain. You have literal like concept art and like steps progression here on the wall. You have the Tower of Babel, which as I've been told is in the map, but you have Saturn eating his children, the famous painting. You have what seems to be the bait head included in here. But just look at how much more like horrifying the warden's office is, especially when you consider what they upgraded it to in Blood of the Dead. Calvary Hellraiser, yeah, right. Then this place gets turned into a blackout map. Pillaged for all it's worth. Calling card's amazing. Crazy, it was almost the very end of my unlocked calling cards. Oh, nice. Okay, next up we have the cut minecart areas. So supposedly you were able to fast travel through here. This was later repurposed in Blood of the Dead. If we go to any Blood of the Dead footage, for example, you fly through this zone when going between the cafeteria and spawn. So it should be this one. Gonna assume I never use this fast travel. Might actually be kind of pointless to try and get an image of it. Come on, there we go. So in Blood of the Dead, if you go down here, these were shown on the alpha build. Yes, they were, but they weren't actually put into a map. So here was the cut minecart section. This is what the concept art is referencing. So I still think a minecart section would have been cooler than flying through it, but very clearly they're paying homage to a lot of cool ideas that they had that don't make it into development. But you can find these onto the island. They're, if I'm not mistaken, in alpha builds, they're cut out and ready to be implemented. Originally, the gondola was inspired by Shinonuma's zipline. Here is more black and white, just fantastic looking shots of this map. Ooh, developers killed it. And now we have the afterlife mechanic, the different gauges that go into the design of it, the look of it, having the hands and the prisoners and the different symbols they use to indicate where you're supposed to go. That's a cool idea. They really knocked it out of the park with this map. Here is more planes. Eventually these planes turned into this plane. Sorry, chat, my wife texted me. Okay. And here is the look of the Hellhounds. Fun fact, originally in development, the Hellhound was supposed to be a... Where is it? Apparently, the wolf head was a Native American dream catcher, and according to John Rizzo, in the files, these are referred to as dream catchers, and John couldn't know why. Now we know. Kevin Drew and Gavin Locke were the ones that suggested making it a wolf head. So if you want to thank someone, thank Kevin Drew for the Hell's Retriever and the dynamic look of the wolf head. Here is a great look of the Acid Trap and Electric Cherry. Way that it looked like an ice chest with a cool looking design. I'm glad they updated it from the red and yellow to the blue and red. I think it's a lot more striking. Helps the white stand out more. And of course, the Blundergat. Blundergat, we have the Hell's Retriever and the just amazing way to look. Look at this stuff. Like, wow, the obsidian on the Hell's Retriever. It's great to look at it up close. You don't get to see this very well in game sometimes. And of course, here we have the Warden of Alcatraz. Good old Warden buddy. Great looking design. By the way, chat, we are a little under a third of the way through the book right now, but we will probably speed up as we get farther. The information gets a little less interesting as we go on. That was a lot of Native American inspiration already, so I guess the wolves originally being dream catchers makes sense. Yes. Here are the four delinquents, our good old prisoners, Sal, Finn, Billy, and Weasel. Before they were eventually recast as popular actors, here were their designs. This one looks straight up like MZC. If you ever seen MZC, this is literally him. He has the same mushroom top and everything. Wonder why that was the thing with the tomahawks and indigenous people stuff? Because the indigenous people stuff, they were people that originated on Alcatraz Island, so they were paying homage to them and people that originally had their land built over. Does the Dark Ether have a physical manifestation similar to how the Aether physical manifestation is Agartha? No, it does not. Looks good. Yeah, doesn't it look good? And of course, here is the wonderful look of Buried. Originally, here were some cut screen grabs for different side modes, presumably race, turned, meat, stuff like that. Eventually, I think I don't think any of these get used. Let me try. Go to wow, it doesn't have a loading screen. All right, well, proves my point. None of these were used. Animates look funny? Yeah, they do, right? All right, more hedge maze. This is a wow. Look at that shot. Tree. It goes breaks through the glass. Some really inspired art design. I like the way you can even see the block out. You come through here, come down here. The way back out is through this opening. Cool idea. More look at the map, and then you're going to see a ton of kept concept art. We have a lot from this map. But most specifically, you have the oil lamp system. This was a cut feature of the map that was originally talked about in the developer documents. Let me pull it up real quick. It should be, they call it, the DLCs are numbered wrong, so hold on. Alcatraz. This one. There we go. So originally in the map, they wanted to use lanterns, and they had all these different ideas on how you were going to use them. Yes, thank you, Reggie. Appreciate it. So anyways, cool stuff. Here's more looks at the map. Here's more look at an underground basement within the witch's house. That never gets used. And we also have the look at Vulture's Aid. All right, and to finish things off, we have... let me find a bit more, actually. Here we have a... Look at the Paralyzer. This thing has always looked like an absolute baddie. Like, wow. Look at that one. Okay. We have the Time Bomb, the zombie models, which I don't think I give enough credit to. Have a go, Vivi. See you in a minute. The buildables, and the different ways the people look. Look at this guy, his little funky little mustache. He's like, put up your dukes. Here we have the witch in all of her beautiful model. This is Jebediah Brown's mom. Talk about aging gracefully. How old did you say you were? 1,000 years old? Here we have good old Leroy, and arguably, I'd say this is the biggest error in the entire book. It's so minor, but it's the biggest error. Arthur is non-playable ally who lost purpose after outliving his master, but seems just as happy to serve Samantha Maxis and company. Yeah, Samantha Maxis, I bet. I bet. Samantha Maxis is definitely who he's serving. All right, let's jump over to Origins. This is iconic artwork for the map. Always one of my favorites. And here you just have a ton of great ways that they try incorporating a lot of different ideas. The different tombs, the no man's land, the trenches. They had so much going for this map. In the description up here, they said under the mound, we had 4 large subterranean chambers that were accessible only through flooded tunnels. The player would have to get a Panzer Soldat suit to traverse underwater sections. Like, did Origins not already include enough? You're going to include underwater sections? Also featured in the map, you can see the church area, which was eventually the town area, which was cut down to just the church. The church is right back here. This whole town section was cut, and you can watch that in any of my live streams or videos where I go through this part of the map. But right here is the Flogger, here is Gen 5, here is the Mound, Gen 4 is behind it, and then here are Gens 1, 2, and 3 over here. Shepherd of Fireplace can't, it's copyrighted. Here's more looks at the Mound. I wish we had this little bunker entrance right here. That looks cool. And just more field testing to get an idea of what they wanted the map to look like. Here is the jump scare, which in hindsight looks kind of like Samantha Maxis. And also here is the church with its original layout. Right here, you could run down here, but you could also run up the side and into the back. It was a 2-level church that you had full access to. You could access both of it without needing the tank. And right here is the premise artwork, which is... This was found on scraps of paper hidden around the map and was shown off to us in Revelations. But here it is in all of its glory. Almost sounds like a Star Wars track. Oh, this one? Yeah, this is my... This is the Shadowed Throne track when you're fighting the Stadjäger. It comes from the intro cutscene. Intro cutscene comes from the boss fight. It comes from campaign. It's called Hill 493. Transient Origins Fighting Armor 1 had the most ambitious development. Yeah, literally. Paralyzer reminds me of the MWZ Wonder Weapon. Oh, the Scorcher. Yeah. Here is another great look at the different tombs before, or the different trial chambers before they updated them. In Fire and Lightning, you can even see the original tomb jump out where the zombies come out of before they had to become portals. Here's another great look at the blue rocks around the map and all the different wires they attach to them. And of course, who could forget the Wonder Fizz? I always thought this was a really cool idea. Always a great addition to modern zombies. And finally, we have the staffs. This one looks like Loki's Scepter from Avengers, which I'm pretty sure wasn't out at the time. And then you have a ton of different ideas, but I'm glad they went with the more simplistic design. I think this is more iconic. Easier to design, easier to model, easier to recognize. And I'm glad they kind of kept that idea in mind. That would make the Panzer suit design make more sense. I always thought Panzer looked like a diving suit. Yep. And they definitely wanted a diving suit out of it. Here is Maxis's schematic. They called it an amplification rod. Here is the crystal holding. Here is where the Skeptic's Vigor would go. Here's the application steam couple, the sinking handle, and the surge channeling. This is all the stuff that goes into these replica staff holders. Realistically, you're just slapping the crystals in here, and then you use some 115 to reload them. Okay, here are the Templars. Look at these guys. And alongside the Templars, good old Panzer Soldat in his diving pressurized suit and all. And finally, we have some familiar... Okay, fine, fuck me. I just won't show people. Alright, you're getting it 200%. That's all you get. Alright, Kindle's being sucky. Here is Tank Dempsey, Takio Masaki, Richtofen, and Nikolai. I wish I could zoom that in more. Wait! Yes, I can. For you guys, I can. So here is good old Dempsey. Dempsey, Takio, Richtofen with a chopped haircut, and Nikolai with a much bigger handlebar mustache than I think he would ever be willing to wear. Good old. I love the Templar designs. Oh, Templars are so cool. Terrible people, but they're awesome. Here is our good old giant Roboto. Why is Dempsey blonde? I have no idea. He's just blonde in this. And right here, we have all of these really cool designs, alternate designs for the giant robot. This one right here, number 4, is my favorite with the mismatched elongated arm with the wires. That's a really cool idea. Although this guy's giving Evangelion, this guy's giving, what's it called? Iron Giant. Each of them feel like they're designed from different ideas, and I love the variety in them. Do you see the Revelations trailer is coming out this week? So hyped for the finale of BO3. Shut up. Okay, and here, that was the ending of Black Ops 2. Here is a splash screen for Black Ops 3. Here we have the giant Apothicon monster just laying havoc, spitting out Margwas, spitting out Furies, spitting out zombies. It's kind of like the Forsaken. Does the Artbook confirm DLC 5? No, does not. The only confirmed cut content we got is a single image for Paris. That's it. Oh yeah, you're right, Rad. He guess he does have originally blonde hair. Okay. Here we have Shadows of Evil. We have Escape from the Tomb, The Lost City, and then this. Big man on campus right here. We're just gonna just go through all this art, like. Yeah, you're right, Aether. Thank you. Yep. Here is more of Morgue City. I can't blame them for just stuffing this with full of artwork. It's such a gorgeous map. And even at this Black Lace Burlesque, this lady is usually not on top of that sign. She's an all new figure for this one. Ruby Rabbit was a lighthouse. Did I miss that? No, this is the lighthouse bar. Ruby Rabbit, it would be right off behind us. It's right here. The lighthouse is where the train is, typically. It's right up here. Yeah, that's just the lighthouse. I don't think that's supposed to be the Ruby Rabbit. Must have ran out of time? No, I think that's more just, that was the vision and how they accomplished it. Did you get the calling card and the decal? I did. I already redeemed this, so you guys can look at the code if you want. And I already, I'm gonna put the decal on my car, 100%. So if any of you guys ever see me on the road, you guys can, I don't know, kill me or something, I don't know. Sticker. Is it sturdy enough for that? I don't know. Gonna find out. A sticker is a sticker after all. Okay. Yeah, here is the Ruby Rabbit right here. Or sorry, the pink rabbit before it's called the Ruby Rabbit. Here are more Art Deco buildings. Here is some beautiful artwork for Nero. And then just this lady, I don't know who she is. Just signage helps make the city feel more alive. Yo, Boo, the biggest excitement I got so far from the book is the Zombies timeline Blundell and JC showed us in the book. Yes, we'll get to that in a moment. Car maxing, what's your VIN and license plate number? Hold on, let me go get that for you. Is it only the physical book for the calling card? Yes, only the physical book for the calling card, but you get it on both Amazon and Call of Duty's website. But yes, if you want the calling card, it comes with the physical book. Look at that. The art is so good. It is, chat. I can seriously not recommend enough to any type of zombies fan. Anyone will get something out of this book. I really do believe that. All right, and then here's this image of shadows. We've had this one for a while now, but this is before they even put the images of Primus and the Great War in the etched stone. It's just standard Apothecon design. I'm glad they updated that. Can't wait for mine to come. Yep. Do you see down the line, BO8 Zombies Dark Ether Richtofen meets Director Richtofen? Will this recreate homage to the intro of the giant cutscene? I hope not. So it's really stickered in there with tiny stickers so it doesn't rip the cover off. Yeah. So is that for the intel we get when Rex comes out? Yep. Here is the burlesque. More than any other place in this city, your paths have crossed here. Another building. Empire Hotel. And then more of the train system. And here is the etched stone. This is in the final version of the map in Pack-a-Punch. You can clearly see the mound here. Each of the keepers fighting alongside the Templars. And of course, Primus Nikolai, Primus Richtofen, Primus Takio, and Primus Dempsey. All fighting against the Apothecon Horde. Cool ideas. Here is, again, one's called the Pink Rabbit again. Would it kill you, Kindle? If there's one thing I can't recommend the Kindle version, not enough for this stuff happening. It pisses me off. Yours got damaged along the spine also. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, I guess it did. I mean, a little bit, yeah, but I mean, that doesn't really shock me, I'm gonna be honest. I'll take mine getting here in one piece on day one, so. I'm not like an avid freak out about like PGA 10 stuff. It's like, oh, okay. Does anyone say anything about the chaos ending on a cliffhanger? It does say it. It doesn't say where it goes next. Here is the good old summoning key. And then more of this artwork. The train station that would go right here, actually. This is where the shield build is. Here's Nero's lab. And fun fact, the this version of the Silver Protector was eventually reused in a Black Ops 7 bundle earlier this year. This helmet design. How much does the book cost in the US again? I think it's 60 bucks. 60 for physical, 20 for digital. Maybe 50 bucks, one of the two. Here's a cool look at beast mode. You can even see some outline stuff like the shock box that's in dev mode, which is really cool. The Widow's Wine. The Gobblegum, which was originally, or Gobblegum, which was originally called Bubble Blast before being called Gobblegum, which I'm kind of happy they changed it. Yellow Gobblegums, which just don't exist. Shield and Dr. Money's Chocolate. Okay. And of course we have the Little Arnie. Tempted to get it? CZ. If you like what you're seeing, I really cannot recommend it enough. Double in for using the Chronicles hand. It's the best cover design for anything. Yeah, it really is. Fun fact, a Little Arnie was originally called Apothe.
More right than wrong.
Here is the Apothecon sword in all of its glory. So ordered a copy. Nice. Here, and then here is the Archon sword, otherwise known as the Keeper sword. Here is the Apothecon servant, the sword holders. And here are some zombie designs. According to Michael Mahan, apparently at one point they wanted Lovecraftian tentacles to start popping out of the zombies in this map. And that would have been awesome. By the way, guys, am I yelling? How loud am I in the mic? I hope I'm not yelling to the mic too much. Let me know. Thanks.
And if you're over 50, please consult your physician before enjoying the wonderful Wonder Fizz family of sodas.
Okay, here is the good old Insanity Elemental. Before we call them meatballs, but this is the actual name of them. And the Keepers. And God, it's not concept art. Go hard. I got out of the page for you. Did that. Here is Nero and all the different designs that came with him. I have no idea what that is. Game, please just work with me. Okay, well, you guys are gonna have to see this from 200%. So here, look at that. I don't know what that is. Rate your current less 6 or 7. You're fine. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Here is Jessica Rose. Fun fact: each of these artworks that we see in this art book were originally used in an early build of the game. Here's the image. This image right here. So if you've ever seen this image, we are currently able to, we can finally see the concept art for it. For some reason, Jessica Rose has the Dark Ether variant. I don't know why. But I'm going to be honest, I like the purple a lot more than the red. Jay Shaw, yeah, Jay Shaw's here. Jay Shaw's awesome. Bro's at my wedding. Put Jessica Jones back on screen. I'm really close, bro. Anyways, here's Jackie Vincent, and here is Floyd Campbell, the boxer. And of course, the Shadow Man. You know, you think that they would go with someone who's not called the Shadow Man as the bad guy, the twist villain, but what do I know? I would call him something a bit cooler, or a bit less ominous. Okay, and here is the Giant. We're just going to breeze through this. Here is the zombies popping out barriers. Cool looking artwork. We've seen this one before. This has been posted a couple different places at this point. There's calendars you can get with this image right here. It's a beautiful look. The snowed in factory, the blues and yellows. It really captures the map well. We almost got Floyd Campbell in a bowler cap, did we? Oh my gosh, he almost did. That is funny. Kind of like the Newsies hat more. It looks better. Here is a look at Zombie Richtofen, who would be used in the Shadows jump scare and also in the Tog intro. And I'm surprised they even thought about redesigning the robot, considering they had a pretty well stapled down design. But this shot goes hard. It's the robot looking around for the truck. Oh, that's awesome. The snowy art look is done so very well. The art, yeah, right? And finally, we are at Derizendraha. So, this little cage right here by the gondola pole, I wish it was on the map. I feel like it would have tied together this area a lot more and made it a bit more difficult. Here is the mule kick area, the void bow area, the rocket pad. Like, whoa. That's a cool looking shot. Here's the Keeper Temple. Honestly, it without the MPD should have been the default look, because this looks so beautiful. Here is the tomb. Hashtag Black Ops 6. Here is the stained glass. We have the Death Ray, the Ragnaroks, the Dragon Head. And of course, the bows. I love the way the bows look. Fun fact, did you know that the little heads that pop out of the Void Bow when it's a charge shot are called the Mouth Beast? I assume it's because they are 80% mouth. But yeah. Ooh. Look at that. Also, it looks like they're just burning Richtofen alive right here. Like they just T-posted a Richtofen in there. And finally, we have the Wolf Bow. Okay, so, I have no idea if you're... So my headphones just died, and I don't have any other headphones on me. So let's charge these suckers. Hopefully the mic's still working. It's not blown out to bits. If I'm lucky, you guys can't hear the music. But my headphones just died. I didn't charge them. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm going to assume you can because I see it going off. Okay, next up. So what I don't like about the Wolf Bow is this is not only can this upgrade slow zombies in the tracks, but also firing a charge shot will cause ghostly wolves to manifest and attack any creature nearby. That's just not what it does, but apparently I'm reading that wrong. So I think this is just complete conjecture. I think this is a total error. It should just be when you fire a charge shot, it's a wolf that just shoots forward and it kills any zombie on contact. It doesn't spawn a wolf to kill zombies. That's just not how that works. But according to Twitter, I'm wrong. So. Okay. Here's some good old Zetsubo no Shima. I wish the spider area looked like this. Because I like the way it looks in the current map, but there's too much blue. I like the greens and the red coming out of the spider's cave. The blue from the blue water in the 115. That's a cool idea. Fun fact, originally there was going to be a reservoir system, like a dam, here in Zetsubo. I'm tired of what, brother? Read the Takio quote for a typo? Oh, hold on. A better tomorrow is only possible if we blow away the ashes of the past. It's not... What is he even... That's not right? What does he say? I know you're gonna know it. I'm tired, dog. Here's the airplane trap. Oh, it's fixed on digital? Are there differences in the physical version? Uh-oh. What does yours say? What's up, Omar? Welcome. Oh, it does say off the past. Wow. What do you know? Huh, typo. I could have seen that coming. Okay. Holy crap, it's real. That's funny, though. Here's more look at our beautiful plants. And we have the babysitter plant, the trap plant. All it's interesting that originally it was going to eat zombies whole and not just their head. I love the way that the hand looks. That's a cool idea. Man, I wish the spider feature worked on the babysitter plant and doesn't break your game half the time. And we have the Skull-Down Sapway. The Skull-Down Sapway once belonged to a keeper who defended Punape, and it's people from Invaders. I didn't know it defended people from Invaders, but that's cool. And then apparently, according to Maxwell Porter, the KT4 hat is supposed to represent how much ammo it has by using the gauges, which I don't think is used in the actual map. Anything about the distant monster? No, no distant monster in this. And here we have the spider and the thrasher. Both of these are just really cool. Like, both artworks for them. You can tell they were so inspired to make these enemy types on this map. Boo, I know. Most interesting Easter eggs that makes me love that spell even more. Yeah, the fact that it's just random. No explanation. So cool. Here is a good old dragon carcass that you can walk right through. Sitting on top of the department store originally, so I guess it was going to crash through and completely mess up the play space. Here is the back of the department store. This is the front of it. This is the side that comes out to where Sophia is. You would walk back this way to Sophia. She's in the background. No, actually, maybe it is the other way, because that's where the robot is. So... Of course, here is the guard of Fafnir and the Gorak Krovi standard splash art. Welcome back, Vivi. And we have the GKZ45. It's cool that we see different variants of it just kind of sitting down here in the bottom in the concept art. Like, just not even explained. That's cool. I wish they kept that. We have Sophia, who is known as the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer. The Gauntlet of Siegfried. I need to watch this, apparently. I need to check the animations later. According to Benjamin Lee de Guzman, lead animator, shares the level of detail that went into crafting the Gauntlet. The process to animate this guy was crazy. We had a gigantic dragon in my source file, real true 2 stories height dragon, that drove the controls for Little Dragon. So anytime I loaded up the scene, there's a gigantic beast I had to stash away somewhere in Maya. We actually made a super long idle animation for the dragon while he's stretching his wings. I don't think anyone saw it because no one was ever idle for that long. Also, if you pay close attention, the dragon is clinging to the gauntlet for dear life if the player is sprinting. I've been meaning to check that out. So bear with me while we just go comb through some footage real quick, because I want to see if that's true. It should be. You can check here. Well, no one's defending this guy. All right, let's see. Do I put Whelp away? No, call Whelp back, you idiot. Okay, we'll have to check that out on our own game at some point. Just got mine pumped. Nice. Stanley, I'm saying I'm back. Well, welcome back, Vivi. I love how chunky the GKZ looked. Yeah, right. I like it too. Mentioned else animation related. I mentioned earlier on in the book. I think it was back in BO2. Okay, well, find it. So here is the really cool splash art. This is a 4-page artwork that just has every single, like, has a whole bunch of just Wonder Weapon concepts, like created designs. Like, look at this. Like, there's so much in here. You have the MWZ wands, the Beam Smasher, the Crystal Axe, the Scorcher, the Kraken, the Mark IIIs, specifically the Pack-a-Punch Mark IIIs, the Fire Staff. Oh my gosh. And then hidden inside of this is a timeline with different images over the timeline, a look of the squid from Revelations, the DE Keeper boss fight, and the other half of the timeline, just so you guys get an idea of how this looks and how it's actually done. So within this timeline, you can open it up, and then in it is a 4-page, just like complete scrawl of Wonder Weapons. This is very cumbersome to hold, by the way. Usually I could just put this on a table. So yeah, but anyway, it's just this massive, like, gallery. That's a really cool idea. And then when you close it, inside is the timeline. And I need to go through this because it looks like there's 3 blotches over it that aren't in the usual timelines. Unless they're zoomed in, I need to figure out what's going on here. Looks like there's a little secret in there. But to quote Maz Kanata, it's a good story for another time. Fun fact, in the Keeper boss fight, initially you were going to fight zombies. The more I see this book, the more I'm sold on it. Get it! It's a dope book. I would highly recommend this to any zombies fan, just even for own personal use and just looking through it. It's cool. Here is here's the redesigned Gigant robots. Yeah, they're called Gigants in this map. I was not expecting a sequel quote. What do you mean sequel quote? Here is a look at the Russian Mangler, its arm cannon, the robot against the tower. That's a cool visual. You get to see the Valkyries. Yo, Warman! Stanley, God, this book is sick. I'm still waiting for it to ship out. I am so sorry. Leave. Avert your eyes. The way that it crash lands and pops up, that's a cool idea. I'm glad they do that in the actual map, where like the blue explosion comes down. I wish they actually exploded, though. How, Gregory Weaver? I'm doing well, thank you. For the Keeper boss fight concept art, what about it? So yeah, it's on. The Keeper boss fight is... Thank you so much, Nix, for the 5. Keeper boss fight's on page 161. Oh, the thing's on page 88? Gotcha, let me go back. Let's see.
Stan the man. I can't stay for long. I am sloshed. And Eriler, I was pretty awful. And probably will be overwhelmed once
you were an
sober,
awful.
But for new. You okay? Chat okay? You enjoying the art book?
Thank you, I am enjoying. Thank you, Nix. Feel better. You're okay. I didn't notice anything wrong. You are right, though. On page 88, oh, you mean the Maz Kanata quote? Yeah, that was funny. So, 3rd paragraph. Hold on, let me see. With how tall buildings are in diaries, player super long transition when going to the elevator shafts, the leap from debris and platforms to a point of B. Oh, you mean the jumping jacks? Yes. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. I never looked at that. I forgot to mention this. So let me go backtrack and talk about this. A new buildable trap launches here. Just as it launches anyone that steps onto it, once assembled, players can place this on any open floor space. As a result, it's used to hurl approaching zombies to a plummeting end, or strategically launch Victus across otherwise impossible divides. I can't play the game as well as other people, Craig Houston, senior lead writer, sighs. In Die Rise, there was a thing that let you jump between buildings, but every time my son and I tried it, it would throw us to our deaths. He'd yell at me, Dad, I thought you made this. Oh, that's so funny. They get Shutterpawn here and voice him. I like the idea of Craig Houston playing with his son, and they're just launching themselves off the map. I think that's hilarious. Okay, here's some look at the Nikolai mech suit. Like, steampunk dream. The wraps. They also mentioned that they decided not to go with European-style dragons, but wyverns, which I think is really interesting, because they have wings connected to their palms rather than having wings spreading out of their backs. That's the main difference. I noticed there's an eye on the bottom spine indicating this is one. Maybe there are more books like this? No, I think that's the symbol for the book provider. That's their thing. If you go to the back of the book, yeah, their name is Insight. That's why. So if you look, I'll pull it up on stream. I know, I wish there was more. But if you look right here, it says Insight, because their name's Insight Editions. Diary's moment, yeah, right. So Nikolai mech only change was the feet. Yeah, it looks like the feet, and maybe a couple other designs to give like the Russian Red Star and the Spear of Ascalon, for example. Them being wyverns means they're more akin to Norse dragons. Yes! Great look at them. It honestly, this one reminds me a lot of, actually, hold on, let me pull up Nyxara. Because I think Nyxara has independent wings. Which is funny, because if we want to compare them, the wyverns on Gorod, whereas the dragon on Kawakujo is very different. Oh, Kawakujo. Yoo-hoo. Yeah, so if you look right here, so Nyxara has more traditional dragon designs where she's actually using wings to fly and try and hurt you. These wings are separate from her hands, to be more specific. Yeah, so if you want a good look, that's the difference between Nyxara and the dragons on Gorod Krovi. Okay, now we get to look at some revelations. Look at the blue on this map. So sick, going to need to rewatch the rest of the VOD. Please, Babs. I think I'm having a great time. Rev looks so pretty. Heck yeah, it does. And look at the inside of the Apothecon. Talk about alien. That being, yeah. Still bothers me they made Nyxara was not made into a full Eastern noodle dragon. I agree, but I think they took both inspirations from regular dragons and Eastern European dragons. Is that a bow bonfire in the Rev photo? We'll get there, but I'm pretty sure it is actually. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. We'll get there about the bows being in the map. But is it here? Yes, so fun fact, Revelations was originally going to feature the bows. Here's some more concept art. Each of the bows would have corresponded to one of the four main elements: void, fire, light, and electric. That's why there is void and fire markers on the map. And as we'll see soon, let me find it. Here's the cut electric Margwa. But have you ever wanted to see the original cut light Margwa? Hold on, let me pull them up. Should be. You're gonna have to bear with me. There's a lot. Here it is. Found it. That wasn't too bad. So they originally wanted to have every single elemental Margwa. Here's the fire, the electric, which would eventually turn into this guy. The light Margwa, which was the cut Margwa, and the shadow Margwa. Each of these would have basically had been on the boss fight in the map, in the elemental arena. That's why there's 4 arenas, but only 3 Margwa types. You would have had elemental bows, the gravity spikes could have affected them, the skull could have affected them, the skull on Sapway. Would have been great. They had a ton of stuff planned. Light looks cool. Yeah. Thank you, Nyx, for the $1. Yes, they tease Gorod Krovi a lot. Thank you, Nyx. Hi, Israel. What's up? Yeah, sorry. I'm streaming at a bit of a earlier time than usual, so we're through a lot of the book already. We're halfway through. Does that mean the Dastardly Sword lineup with the 4 elemental one really wanted to rep? Yes. They wanted each of the bows, they wanted each of the Margwas, and they wanted them all to be fought in this giant dark arena. Am I crazy for thinking I would have preferred the bows? No. But they clearly wanted to make Revelations a love letter to everything in BO3 and everything in Zombies. Will the stream be up to watch? Absolutely it'll be up to watch. As long as it doesn't get taken down. Here is some beautiful look at the Verrucht outside area. a reworked Origins area, and a part of this area of the mural that you see in in Kino. Is that the Ruby Rabbit? Yes. In the original concept art, they wanted to include Revelations. They want to include Shadows of Evil on it. Let me see if I can find the actual map layout. Dark Arena. Is this what? No, this is the Dark Arena. I actually haven't gone through this in a long time. I've had these files on my computer for a while. No one tell Treyarch. Is this it? Trust me, there's a ton on this map. That's it. This is when I'm going to have the map. Please tell me it will. I don't have time. Just know there is a map. It was going to include a lot more areas. It was going to include a giant wall run section, a shadow section, an ascension section. Couple more. I'm blanking on them right now. Just know they're in there. Haven't modders been able to use electric Margwas? Have they? I didn't know that. People haven't been able to figure that out. Does it mention the scrapped ascension rocket idea? No, it does not. There are the notes that the Xeon is... The note that the Xeon is team... Zombies team. There are the notes that the Zombies team was looking at during development. Oh, yeah, no, those are all notes. Yes, those are all notes. It's a development process. Was it referring to the doc called Genesis? Yes. In the development files, they refer to Revelations as Genesis because Genesis, it's referencing the fact that Revelations is both the beginning and the end of the cycle, in the same way that Revelations and Genesis are the first and last books in the Bible. Nostalgia to the max for Revelations. Oh, how far we've come. 102 people? Whoa. We jumped back up from 68 earlier. Yeah, we dropped down a lot earlier. We were up 115. We had 120 at one point. Wow, thank you everyone for watching. Keep going. I guess an ad play that scared everyone away. Sheena was being part of the Verrucht Island. Yes, Garag Crovey and the outside DE Castle Rehab is obviously at the concert. Thank you, Ducky. Yes, that kind of stuff. If I had the map on me, I'd be able to pull it up better. Here is Zombie Chronicles. They just included a crap ton of just additional concept art. Reworked areas. You never even see this. You definitely do not see the moon excavator. That's not the moon excavator. You definitely don't see the rocket stuff in Ascension. But they really wanted to include it. In the moon section, you see the revamped look. So I wonder if this is where that one person got the concept art they said the Glitching Queen over a decade ago at this point. Shangri-La and Shinonuma, with Shinonuma better adding the comms room stuff to it. Believe me, they packed these maps full of stuff. Like, I seriously can't recommend enough. Buy this book. Buy this book, and it's going to be great. You're going to love it. And here is Dead Ops 2 with the Cyber's Revenge. The face on the Shangy thing is cute. Hold on. What Shang thing? Oh, this thing. I didn't realize that does look like a face. Yeah, that's funny. On the geyser, yeah. And finally, here's Cyber's Revenge and everything that went into that. I love this image right here on the bottom. This is cute. And finally, we have made it to Voyage of Despair. Can I get a cheer for that or what?
I can't stop winning.
Amen. I can't stop winning indeed. So here is the beautiful Voyage of Despair splash art. This was not shown its official capacity until now. No, it was. There's other places we've seen it. Anyways, Voyage of Despair, one of my favorite maps. We will spend as much time as we do on the other maps. We're just gonna cut to the highlights. So originally, they had these beautiful black and white shots where they're trying to get the vibe of the map. Originally, it looked a lot more flooded, and you had to avoid electrocuting zombies, low player visibility, low movement areas, zombies running through the water. Would have been a flooded, terrifying map. And I think they went for a more action adventure-y tone with later ideas. So I'm kind of glad they changed it. I think it fits the map better. Here is the chaos-infused cargo hold. It does not look this dynamic in the normal map. But the boiler room, if you've ever seen what the map looks like when it's all underwater in the boiler room, this is almost one-to-one what it looks like. They really killed it matching the vibe of the artwork. I just wish it was a bit taller. Here is the cargo hold. Not the cargo hold. The cargo hole. Yeah. Meat locker. People would have hated the flooded aesthetic. I love it too. I think it looks great. Here is my favorite piece of concept art in the entire book. And it's not just because it's on Voyage. Just this imagery on actual Voyage is one of my favorites. But I think it's excelled greatly in this concept art. Just the idea of all the hands reaching up for the Sentinel artifact. That's so like inspiring in a horrifying way. All of this power and people are ripping their limbs apart to try and get it. That's a cool idea. It's such a cool visual for what the Sentinel artifact represent. Chaos was so cool. Yeah, it was. Here is more flooded cargo hold imagery. Here's the hull breakage. And here are what the wall buys would have looked like on Chaos. Originally, instead of going with this space theme, they were going to have like zombies like be part of the wall. And then you're going to take it from the zombie. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that. Yo, spare account 2025. Thanks for sharing the artwork. Hey, welcome to the stream. Expecting more of the artwork, but cool to see. Yeah, I think it's cool. I know people expected more, but you got to keep in mind, guys, you could make entire books off of just one game alone. Like, this is the entire series. It's 300 pages. You could easily make multi-100 page books about every game in the franchise. They had a ton of ground to cover. So I understand people being disappointed, but also it's covering everything from wonder weapons to enemies to map concepts to developer insights. Not everything's going to make it in. We could easily have a multi-thousand page book on zombies alone. Thought we were going to get some Buster Up B. Nope. Here's the Chaos mystery box. The perk statues. But we're getting some good stuff now. Here are the cut zombie, or not cut. This is part of the Kraken park. They wanted to give them more unique pickup looks. And I think they achieved that great. Especially when I was playing Voyage on Pizza's channel last Saturday, having the visual helped a lot. By the way, if you didn't see, guys, I streamed on Code in Pizza's channel. There's a ton as is. Yeah, I agree. Oh, the beautiful Kraken, the best wonder weapon of all time. And of course, the homunculus. And man, bro, it looks evil. The fact that Nock was going to have alt zombie types possible. Yeah, but then they scrapped them. I'm kind of glad they did. Okay, they got them all right, I was going to say. Okay, and then here are all of the specialist weapons. Oh, chat, if only someone had a staff of Ra. Oh, what's that? Is that my signed Voyage poster right here? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm flexing. What can I say? I completely crooked my camera. There we go. What a show off. I don't want to brag. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff. I have 3D printed Kraken, a Staff of Ra prop that was gifted to me. Show them the Kraken. Well, now that you mention it. Hey Stanley, what's your favorite wonder weapon? Oh, I don't know. You know, just this 3D printed Kraken. It's gone through the ringer though. It's been dropped quite a few times and has been through some disasters. But still holds up great. The guy who made this for me was from Saudi Arabia. He shipped it to me from across the world. I'm surprised it came in one piece. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I definitely need to get that thing mounted on the wall. Why do you have the Kraken? Because, Dad fit with the Kraken. Yeah. Chat, I just want you guys to know when I first became a YouTuber, that's what my, first, paycheck was spent on. I'm not even joking. Don't bring your house under a lot of heat. Thanks. Oh my gosh, guys. Bean. Look at him. The child. Bean, come here. Everyone wants to say hi to you. W expense, yep. So just so you guys know, whenever you guys are donating, that's what it's going to. Here is a great look of the Blight Father. Originally, it was going to be able to detach its face, which would have been gnarly, but also freakishly sickening. Going to meet Nolan North at New York Comic Con in October. Going to have him sign a blood that I poster hopefully the Zombies art book. Yeah, dude, nice. I would love to go meet Nolan North someday. Okay. Here, Beanie. My son. Or look at the Rex and Furnace Elite boss right there. I wish. Anyone to look at the Blight Father back? He is not happy with me right now. I just want you guys to know. He is very, very upset. Anyways, here's a purple catalyst, which is supposed to be the poison catalyst, but he's purpled for some reason. And finally, the best concept art in the whole book, our beautiful Chaos Crew. Fun little fact. They spell Alistair, A-L-I-S-T-A-I-R-I-I-R. They spell it Alistair with an I, but over here they call him Alastair, or Alistair, which is with an A. So the A-L-I, A-L-A, it's literally on the same page, and they spell it wrong, both sides on this side, but they spell it right on this side, just so you guys know. Most fumbled Treyarch team, don't even get me started. Look at them. You're telling me these guys were supposed to go on for 10 years to tell a story? I believe it. Okay, here's some 9 concept art. The arena. This group deserved better. Yeah, it did justice for Chaos. Fun fact, this image right here is used in the for promotion for the 9 gauntlet. It's the one that you use in the loading screen when you load it up. Welcome back, Woods. Woods, you just missed all the voyage glazing I just did. And look, here's even artwork of the Oracle's Temple that we never get to actually play in. But it's modeled somewhere. And then here is the Pack-a-Punch room. This thing's got a ton of artwork. Why does Bruno kind of look like Blundell? Hold on. He kind of does. No. Yes? Maybe. Not sure. Here is the arena designs. This is awesome to see finally. By the way, I cannot zoom into this. This page will just break. Watch this. If I do this, it's gonna break every time. Oh, now you don't want to break? Okay. It's cool to see the heads. Like the fact that they kept these designs when you actually do the trials too. That's cool. Here is the Danu Tower. Originally, you were gonna have to buy a door to get up to the top floor. Here is the Odin Tower, the Zeus Tower, and the Ra Tower, which I think is the best looking one of the 4. Besides the Danu one, of course. Like, look how pretty that looks. We believe you. Thanks. All right, and then here are some murals of the High Priest of Chaos using permanent materia throughout history. And I'm glad they put these in high definition because they're very hard to see in maps sometimes without just ripping the model straight from the game. Wish to explain the narrative rooms, even though that's technically cut content. I wish to. Coloring the book is so much better than in game. Yeah. Here is the tomb the Sentinel artifact was housed in, where you free Pack-a-Punch from. This thing looks gnarly. I wish we actually had it, and like we could look at it better, or we could keep it in game longer. Because the second you open Pack-a-Punch, it's gone. Here is the Scorpion. Fun fact: apparently, the Scorpion was supposed to be a crossbow. Will you do an extensive video on this later? I missed the entire stream. Yo, Tidisu, you can watch the stream after this. It's still going to be up. But yeah, I would love to make a video on it. Probably once I get done with the Black Ops 7 video, I'll put some time into this. How to notice the artifact slot? Yeah, even in the main map, it has this exact opening. The artifact's not in it. It just looks white. This is what the backside looks like. But yes, there is a white glow where the artifact would fit into. Here are the properly named Destroyers and Marauders. They're not called Gladiators and Brawlers. They are called Destroyers and Marauders. Unpacked. And of course, here is the High Priest of Chaos. The fact that they call him the Ruskurian Priest is really cool because we only found that out recently in a deciphered intel from Chaos, if I'm not mistaken. Or just like a piece of intel we never saw before, where they're called Ruskurian Priests, which is really cool that we caught that. And of course, here are our characters in some 9 drip. We have Diego representing the Aztecs. We have Bruno representing, I don't know, the Swedes? I have no idea. Shaw representing the Scottish. So he's probably Norse Scottish, and I don't know what Scarlet's is. Hers the only nationality I didn't really nail down, but her and Bruno seem to share similar ones, so. And look, here's an early concept at the zombie tiger when it was a zombie lion. Ruskurian's a real life conspiracy too, which is so sick. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, here is the Helephants. So, as deciphered by Glitching Queen over 7 years ago, 8 years ago at this point, Glitching Queen, she found out that on the back leg of one of the elephants, they have written Estelephant in Chaos language, in like the alchemic language. Apparently, it's a reference to Estelle Tigani, who was the producer on 9, which is really cool. But I know this was deciphered a long time ago. And now we move on to Blood of the Dead. Kevin Drew talks about the fact that he thought it was great that they could, this is one of the few times they returned to a map to try and improve it and make it even better. No matter how you feel about Blood of the Dead, this map looks sick. And they killed it with the art. Bruno, Roman, Scarlet, Norse, thank you. And of course, we get the look of the magma path that you take to get the Hell's Retriever and the minecart track that you use to get from spawn to the kitchens. But the biggest surprise is the cut perk machine, where it was supposed to be the dead, decayed bodies of the 4 prisoners, and you would shock the switch and it would wonder fizz for you the bottle, and you take it out of their chest cavity. We missed out on that! So sad. Do we think there's a wrestler's belt relic hint in this book? Not at all. This book was developed for the past like 5 years. Or 3 years. Well, the 4 monster perk machine is so bad. Same. Sounds sick. Why do they not do that? I don't know. Here's the spectral shield, the golden spork knife, and of course, the ghouls, which come in different elements for some reason. Actually, I guess we do see the red ones because those are the ones that we charge when we suck the energy out of the killer one. But this guy definitely doesn't show up. That's body torture on my favorite perk machine. I know. Do they have a good reason in the book about why not? Nope. They just say they say nothing about the perks. This is just in here for flavor. They're crazy unique. I know, right? Imagine they didn't do this because it would have confused new players to have to keep track of 3 different perk machines located across Chaos Blood and the rest of Aether. Yeah, true, but man, would it have been cool. And now here is Classified. Classified is a very messed up map, especially timeline-wise. So much is going on. But the artwork is just a great way to remind... It tells... This is only 2 pages, but it kind of just gives you an idea of the story concept and how it connects to everything. Not a lot of concept art, sadly. I think we missed out on a lot of BO4's later maps. But Dead of the Night, this one got a ton of concept art. So here is the original art where originally Alistair's mansion is supposed to be a mansion on the hill before being thrown into the forest. You can see this on... You see this right here, actually. Where in the original splash art, it's a mansion on a hill. Of course, we have Atlas holding the world, the seer crystals, the jump scare. We have a ton of other stuff like the hall, the garden, the diner, the different look of the mausoleum with the laser on it. You can find this on ArtStation, fun fact. And of course, we have Catherine Wilson. You get a full backstory explanation here. You don't have to piece together any of the story. Could a zombie storyline noob get a good grasp on the lore just through this book? No. This is good supplemental information. And it's good to remind you of different places and ideas, but it's not going to give you a very good review of the entire story. That's going to require a lot of research. It's a 20-year story almost at this point. It's a lot to go through. Her coming out of the painting is so cool. Yeah, especially the way that her flesh peels off. That's cool. And of course, we have the Alistair's Folly. Who could forget this thing? It's weird it's not really given any color, though. It's just brass design. And then the Savage Impaler. I like the bolts for this. These are all. This is also from ArtStation. Also, we have a werewolf, and I guess his human form. We have the Nosferatus, and originally they made it so they wanted the Nosferatus to turn into bats and attack you. They were eventually split into two separate AI, and the flying bat is not traditionally used in gameplay, but in Dead Ops Arcade 3, you can find them in the wild. Fun fact. They were repurposed there. But yes, this is the werewolf. Here, I guess this is his human design, for they just kept the werewolf part. Human's baller? Yeah, right. Trip to the nines. So down to the fall, you get another map? Yeah, I would too. And of course, here is this gorgeous, never before seen, ancient evil artwork of the boss fight arena. Like, that's awesome. And also, fun fact, this Diego render is taken from, where's his artwork? Here it is. This Diego render is taken from his pose in the initial concept art. You can see right here in the back. Fun fact. Holy moly, I know, right? And then there's Shaw right over there. But Ancient Evil, this is a map where there's a ton of great concept art. Boss arena are so gorgeous. Here is good old Pegasus. So hungry I could eat a horse. I knew I saw that post somewhere else. Yeah, you did. Can't ever get past Stanley 557. Here is Perseus. So much aura. Yeah, right. Chat, how do we go from this to Liberty Falls? Ah, sorry, Treyarch devs. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. But, like, this is where it's at. Okay. Here's good old Oracle, who, once again, I am further backed up that this is Jennifer Lawrence. Like, you guys can't tell me this isn't... They didn't use Jennifer Lawrence as a... Like... Right? There's no way. This is her. Like, they used her as a reference for the Oracle. Like, am I tweaking? Don't diss Go to Liberty Falls? My bad. What I would give for BOH to be Chaos again? I know. Anyways, that looks just like her. It's so obviously her. I know. Let him cook? Yeah, thank you. Let me cook. Or let me clock. Let me cook. Looks like her. All right, here we have the Spartoids. Kevin Drew. Make more enemies like this guy. We have the Gauntlet Hands. And, of course, the Pegasus Strike and the Shield. Always great, unique designs. And finally, or not finally, we have one more. Alpha Omega. Which comes with a ton of great story concept art, like this image of Samantha standing down the Apothecon Overlord. And these used images of the Great War, which we technically see in the intro cutscene, but we're just gonna... They're still here. They look nice. They're in full color. They look great. They're not moving. You get a nice view of them. I can't zoom in. It's gonna mess it up, so just pretend you can see better. Chaos Therese could be interesting. That'd be cool. BO3 Nikolai render? Where? Nikolai in the cutscene? Where? Did I miss that? That's so funny. The face? Oh, you mean the face in the explosion? Oh, yeah. Is that really? That's funny. Okay, and then finally we get 2 pages on Togder Totem. We look at the Garthan device, the cutscene, and then we get more cutscene and a schematic. There's surprisingly very little for Tog. It's one of the maps that probably gets scammed the most out of this entire art book. Also, the art book goes on to call Victus Victus, but also calls them Transit randomly, which is really weird. But now let's go on to Cold War. We're on the home stretch. We are 2/3 through this book. Why does Treyarch hate Tog? I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, my wife's calling me. Hold on, guys. Chat, Sydney says hi. Here, say hi again. Nice. They definitely did. I don't think so. Mm-hmm. No, I did not. I'm just streaming. If you could, yeah, sure. You're good. No one cares. Show us the concept art from the Archon. Ooh, the Archon's probably the only other map chat that got absolutely ripped off as more than Tog. So let's go through Cold War, everyone. Cold War. Most of D Machine is more or less just look of the Dark Ether. So we have Dark Ether look by the plane, so basically you get to see how this looks compared to being non-Dark Ether, regular Dark Ether. You get looks at D Machine before it was a frozen nightmare. You get a look at the underground. Chaos needed to be a clean, fresh start rather than being big and complex. I agree, but they didn't do that, so. And of course we have Elemental Pop and the Wonder Fizz. But they go through a lot of this, so you get to see this unique symbol on top of the D Machine bunker. This is not in the normal game. I wish that was in the game. And you have perk machines. This image, which I'm pretty sure we've had for a while now. Okay, we'll pretend we have that image. Here is a look of the lab. This image, which we've also had for a very long time. Constantine drives home. How did we arrive at Warzone slop? I don't know. Keep in mind, these developers are passionate. It really is just a constraint of time. That's usually what happens. Here is them building the look of the Dark Ether and the color palette and the... Because keep in mind, you're developing a whole realm. It's not just throwing items and objects into places. You have to actually build this from the ground up. Here is... What's up? Oh, just a chicken nugget. Should we find the fries? Yep. What? Oh, just 12 pounds should be fine. Yep. All right. I'll see you when you get home. Yep, love you. Bye. Wasn't Dark Ether mostly inspired from the Upside Down? Yeah, but they did do their own work to make it kind of unique still. I think the Upside Down is more just like the building block, and then they built off from there visually. I think I like the non-snowy D Machine better than the snowy D Machine. Yeah, I agree. Kind of gives it a more like unique feel to it. Kind of the snow felt more like a blanket idea. This looks more swampy, and I like that more unique impression. Nuggets and fries, what are you, 5? I'm actually 3, so. If I'm a child, Lois, then you know that makes you a pedophile. And I'll be damned if I get lectured by a pedophile, Lois. Alright, we got cool look at Ivan. And then we have the decompressive isotopic estrangement machine. The die looks so... I'm glad it got its own section. It looks really nice. You're the youngest ever? You're the youngest ever! Different color Dark Ether regions would have been so sick. It would have been. Fun fact about the Brute is that this image was originally found in the Black Ops 4 files. So if we go over here into the content wiki, if we scroll all the way down and ignore everything that has no founding, because with zombies we have the only cut map we know about is the M Blue. That's literally all we know about. But anyways, where is it? Here it is. So this Brute image was found in the files, and for the longest time we didn't know what it was for. But the concept art book confirms it's the Megaton, which, you know, seems obvious in hindsight, but it's nice to have a confirmation. Here we just have a look at armored zombies, plague hounds, and Firebase Z. This is the only image you get of Ravenov. So, only other image of Samantha, and only image of Peck. So take it in while you can. Sadly, we get no concept art for any of these guys, which kind of sucks. Yeah, literally, that's what I'm saying, Babs. Megaton really nailed the 80s monster arcade look. Yeah, I agree. So, did you purchase the book or pirate it? This is a legit purchase. This is on... Hold on. This is on Kindle, guys. I'm using this on Kindle. And I also have a physical version. How dare you? First of all, how dare you accuse me of pirating? Second of all, I bought it twice. So. That's Mom's dress. You ruined it. Honey, it was ruined before she even put it on. Wish they did more with map posters. I agree. It's such a shame. This is the only one we got for like ever. Anyways, yeah, Firebase Z. Here's Peck's room. Here's the Firebase itself. They describe the Firebase as like, it's supposed to be a put together base that they literally built from like the ability to deconstruct it and construct it really quickly. Does that mean the Mega Tank was going to be used for Alpha Omega? No, it just means that its like early test model was left in Black Ops 4's files because Black Ops 4 was used as a base for Cold War. Fun fact. Because Treyarch wasn't familiar with IW's new engine yet. Here is more look at Firebase, the most boring looking map of all time. If you love sci-fi, this is for you. And it's whatever. Even the concept art Firebase Z is mid. Yeah, we're just going to kind of breeze through it. There's a lot of it too. Although Mimics, fun fact, Mimics were originally going to include unique parts from what they were born from. So if they were a loot chest, they would carry loot chest parts on them. If they were born from a perk, I imagine they look like a perk. We were robbed of the Mimics looking like what they basically were hiding as. Because this design is cool, but this design is cooler. And here is Orda. Fun fact, Orda was originally going to have zombies coming out of him, like the Wetchlings from the Mega Abomination. And finally, Outbreak. This is Outbreak concept art. I'm going to be honest. This is not the most interesting concept art in the world. We're going to speed up a little bit here. Like, there's really not anything to behold that I don't think it gives you really any unique insight into how this stuff looks. Mauer to Toten. Now this is one that we can actually look at. Mauer, beautiful. I love the blood splatter up here in the tower. I didn't even see that earlier. They're supposed to reuse Warzone map. They're actually reused Blackout 2 maps. So chill on Outbreak. Also, Firebase Z was built from the ground up. Fun fact. The only map that comes from none of the maps come from Warzone. D Machine, unique. Firebase Z, unique besides the spawn room that comes from campaign. Outbreak was Blackout 2. Mauer was campaign. And Forsaken was also campaign. Here is the gorgeous look of Mauer. The fact that they lit the map 2 separate ways for pre and post power was really cool. But it's Mauer. You've seen enough of this. Here's the train. Always a cool idea. Some cool little things they used to fill the play space to make it feel more 80s. And make it feel more like people actually lived here and it's not a zombies map. Here is the Casimir. According to Mark Mateus, lead game designer, this is an alternate universe from one we knew before. This is why it looks different and is named for a different scientist. It's a hint that things have developed differently. Basically, this implies that Zykov didn't create the Casimir, but a separate scientist by the name of Casimir. So we'll never know. Loki, if they brought these maps to Black Ops 7 and made them more colorful with Curse, I think they'd be respected more. I agree. But only so much you can do to spruce up Cold War. Here is the Cerberus, absolute goat of a wonder weapon. Fun fact, did you know that with the weapon mod kits, you physically, like, the way they're designed, you're supposed to physically attach them to the Cerberus. Here is the standard Cerberus within the, I'm blanking on the upgrade names. Hold on, the Blazer, Diffuser, the Swarm. Here's the Swarm, here is the Blazer, and here is the, no, this is the Swarm, this is the Blazer. This is Swarm, Diffuser, Blazer. You can actually see the Cerberus. Here's the bottom of the Cerberus right here. Here's the Cerberus here, and here's the Cerberus here. The idea being is that they are weapon mods that physically attach and lock into the weapon, which is really cool. But I love all the different designs that they put in here. I miss this kind of direction. I do too sometimes, but I kind of prefer what they're doing now. The pictures in this book, COD players could not read if they weren't pictures. Believe me, I spent 6 hours reading this. So, I've done my due time. And finally, here is Forsaken. So does that mean the Casimirs were like super early foreshadowing the multiverse was still kind of around? No, Reggie, it's more just like the Casimirs were just developed by someone in the Cold War universe named Casimir. Who is surprisingly not Zykov. Cerberus is great. Yeah, it is. Here is Forsaken. I'd say the most interesting concept art in this entire section is this one right here. Easily the best. Everything else is kind of, eh. Although the Crystal Axe, here we go. This is one. Cool backstory on the Crystal Axe. Cool backstory on the Abomination and Zykob. They implied that they got rid of his eyes because they felt that as a Dark Ether being, he didn't need eyes to see. He had evolved to a higher premise. So that's cool. And then here's just some Dead Ops 3. Who doesn't love some good old Dead Ops? I never realized that the Papa back was carrying the defeated Mama back on his shoulder right here. Chad, why does the Mama back kind of have a gyat? Anyways. And finally, let's move on to Vanguard. Up here, you can see the construct. It's arguably the only interesting thing in this image. But here is Duran Fong. We have some great occult look. I wish they kept the look of this game for other titles, but they hate us. But Vanguard, again, if there's anything we can do with this game, it's appreciate and gawk at its art design. Are we going to ignore the fact the guy turns himself into a chicken in Dead Ops 3? Well, I mean, they did because they didn't even put it... Here's the intro, but then the outro is right here, where they cut out the one scene where he turns into a chicken. So... But yeah, look at this concept art. Oh, beautiful. Here is the Altar of Covenants. But the most interesting piece of concept art... Also, this looks cool. I wish the map actually looked like this in the map. The most interesting piece of concept art, though, is the Dark Ether deities. Originally, the Dark Ether deities were going to basically be... They were both going to be characters, they were going to be playable, and they were going to exist with your character. The idea being is that they were an extension of you. Originally, the Dark Ether deities had these more alien-looking designs, and I really, really wish they went with that instead. I think they look a lot cooler, they look a lot more unique, and they feel more like these unearthly beings. Better representative of the monster that Zykob turned into. But I also like the idea that because they were Elder Ones, they're not inspired by human-like design features, so they have their own look to them. I think this is a bit more lame. This looks more like a comic book interpretation of Be'lakor, and this looks like the MCU interpretation of Be'lakor. Potential mode? Yeah. The fact that Syraxis and Cortifex were the only ones to get 3D models? Yep. Art's better than the game? Yep. And then, okay, here's the thing. Nordicus, totally just, like, auraless. This is aura right here. Such a good analogy. Thank you. That's why they call it concept art. It's what they call end cutscene concept art. Yeah. Someone say potential. Yep. And finally, here is good old Cortifex. What a beast. What a monster. You don't even get to see his finished design. It's just all concept art here. Although I kind of wish his scepter looked more like this. I think this scepter looks kind of lame in comparison. But I love the design of Cortifex. You can see all the different inspirations as they evolve him. Although this guy looks like he wants me to return the slab. Return the slab. Oh, I hate you, Kindle. One day I will stop using you. Reading, what's up, Dork? How you doing, brother? Chat, we're almost done. We're 4/5 through. We're definitely gonna speed up though, because BO6 has got some, or MWZ's got some boring stuff. Here's Terra Maldicta. Just some concept. Just, you know, here's the true concept art right here. The destroyed wasteland of Terra. It honestly reminds me of the Great War. And I kind of wish they went with that. Here is Cortifex's castle. This was previously cut and is not in the game at all, but it's in the files. The game was scheming to have an Egypt map with the pyramids. Yep. This guy looks cool. Like, this is just everything about Terra. The art, I can tell what they were going for. It just sucks in execution. Here's Verkana. Since she was brought in late, she does not have a cool alternate design. This is how she already looks. But the Decimator, look at him evolving. Oof. If you want to play Vanguard Zombies, it will trick you. Would have just been an awesome location, but just the maps. Yep. One the other timeline where Vanguard was delayed and given time to actually be made. We will never exist in that timeline. Here is Shinonuma reimagined, or reborn as I call it. This is just a short little highlight reel. Gives you the important stuff. Here are the 3D models for our characters. And finally, this is all we get on the Archon. No joke, this is literally it. They had nothing more to show. You're all good, Vivi. The more pointed version of the shield's probably the best one. Yep. Oh, sorry. We have one more piece of concept art. Sorry. The construct. Yes. It's cool we get construct lore. And I also like the way it evolved, too. The way it kept, like, forming shapes. This one looks honestly like a mouth. And this one looks more like bloody and fleshy. The Archon's great for amazing reason. Yep. This is a chat. This is literally all the Archon got. Okay. Now we're on MWZ. We're going to speed run this because my wife's almost home. I was trying to get the stream done before she got home, but I think we've had a great stream. Here is a look at the Megamon. Again, we've seen most of this stuff. It's MWZ. It's pretty recent. The most shocking thing about this concept art is that the little exchange a life machine that we're going to be seeing very soon in Rex and Furnace has 8 vials on it, not just the 4 that we originally thought. There were a lot more to it than we knew. So I wonder if that'll come into play with our other 4 characters. Here is the Spore contract. Fun fact, the only named character that they name is Hugo Barrera, and Hugo Barrera. None of the other characters get named besides him, which is so funny to me. MWZ was fun. I'm going to be honest, this concept art made me realize how much I despise MWZ. Time to watch my retrospective. Thank you. Here is Escort. Cool little tank with a laser beam and a rocket on it. Pretty cool, I'll be honest. Here is the Aether Extractors. They're called Zip Doors, apparently. Here is Ava Jansen's Aether Neutralizer prototype. Here is the Dark Ether Rifts. I'm going to speedrun this. There's really not much to show here. Dude, Dork, we are so opposite then. MWZ sucks major balls. I would play BO7 till... I would literally play BO7 till the day I die. Then ever touch MWZ again. Although this concept art of the castle and the Dark Ether does look cool. I wish it kind of looked like this more in the actual game. Here are some of Ava's items. They're all inspired by her past. All of 141 killed zombies. That's the only fact I like. I could give a rat about 141. I would play Broken Earth more than MWZ. Same. Here's the good VR11. They describe it as a very alien-looking wonder weapon, which I think is very apt. And I'm glad that they brought it back one more time, even if it has no lore to it. And of course, who could forget the Scorcher? According to the developers, it was literally a last-minute addition, so I imagine that's why it has no lore on it. They brought up the Call the Dead wonder weapon? Yep, that's on MWZ. It's very powerful, too. What's up with BO7? I like BO7. I love BO7, Wiz. I'm just saying I love it. I would play BO7 every day than rather play MWZ. What's up, boys? Vanguard and MWZ arguably have some of the best dark and looking ether locations from the games, but never want to play them. Yep. Was it ever explained why the VR11's back? Nope. Here is a Harvester Orb. No one has ever used these because they suck to fight. And they take forever to fight. Here are the Aether Nest. This is a cool looking design. I love this book. It's my Bible. I agree. Would you play BO6 over MWZ? In a heartbeat, I'd rather play BO6 over MWZ. You're good. Here is the Mega Abomination and its little baby, the Wetchling. And of course, the Entity. And finally, the Aether Worm. Good old Aether Worm. Look at him. Look at his little smile. Oh, he's so fun. He's so happy. Fun fact, this image of the Aether Worm shows up. Hold on. If I can find it. There is a piece of concept art that has the Aether. Here it is. This thing. So this is where they pull this image from. It's this image of the Aether Worm. It's pulled from right here. Okay. Chat. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of goated at finding this stuff. Why do you have pictures of Clarence? In one of my old videos, one of my buddies, I asked him what he wanted to be as his image, and he said Clarence. So Clarence is what he has. Why is the chat image just chilling in here? I don't even remember why. I probably used it in a video a long time ago. Most of the images in my folder, there are a lot of images in here. Like, we can go on like this for a while. Like... You think coming out as gay is hard? Try telling people you like Gorod Crovey. See how much acceptance you get from the tolerant left. I love this. All right. They did a Walking Dead collab and did nothing around WZ. Yep. Goku. Oh, one of my buddies asked to be Goku. That was it. His image wanted to be Goku. I hate to say it, I'm pretty sure there's AI Goku feet in a bathtub. Let me show you. Hold on. When we did Classify 150, I asked my buddies to add images to the stream, and this was the image he selected. I'm pretty sure it was Zesty Moon who said this. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I've seen this image a million times while scrolling through here. It'd be so dumb if I can't find it. And we're good. Oh, it's so dumb. If you ever watch my Class of 150 stream, you'll see it. All right, anyways. I remember, yeah, you got it, Doge. Of course, Zesty, yeah, absolutely he did. All right. Have a good night, Max, appreciate it. Chat, we'll be back on Pizza's channel on Thursday. Here's BO6. We got our good old Requiem crew. Look at them in all their glory. Oh, Gray, you look so much better when you're not look anemic and like a monster. God, the model does her so dirty. She looks so much prettier here. Maya looks great. Carver looks great. Black Ray Gun looks awesome. But for Black Ops 6, we have Terminus and all the cool sci-fi stuff that came with that. Gray Ray Gun, yeah, right. Apparently on Terminus, they wanted to allow you to get loot keys to open stashed treasure chests around the map. That's just not in the game. We have good old Amalgam, which is very clearly inspired by an online horror movie. I forgot what it was called. I recently watched it. Patient 13. Cerberus? Are they holding the Cerberus? Don't even tell me. Don't front. Oh my god, that kind of does look like a Cerberus. Oh wow. Huh. That would explain what's in the MWZ room. Here is Modi with her mini sub and the rockets. Here is the Dark Ether AA turret. And of course, the Beam Smasher. Beam Smasher has such an amazing design. I love this thing. Terminus BO6 map without a heartbeat. And finally, the horrifying, but also bittersweet Liberty Falls artwork. We have 2 towers and a whole zone over here, a factory in the back, the wall that surrounds this locked off town, a Ferris wheel, Colton Hall, a water tower over here, the main city block, the power station that's been melting down, a town off to the side. Oof. Chat. I'm not going to say I wouldn't have not liked it, because I do get annoyed with Liberty Falls, but man, would this have been cool. Do they talk about the original plans? No, they do not. But believe me, there was so much planned for Liberty Falls with how crappy this location is. Look, there's even a disciple over here. You can see him floating right here in his little spike design. Here's a mimic. And then here is Liberty Lanes. Camagran, I know. Is that a mimic? Yeah, it is. Here are some good old posters, like the Origins poster. Aetherella, a in-concept design for the Vermin and Parasite. Thank God they never removed these designs. Yeah, right? No, literally nix. Wish it actually had that much color. I know. Here is the Dark Ether Field generator, or the DAFG. The Mutant Injector, which looks great as it does in game. The Mangler Cannon, the Wand. And finally, Zombies Never Dies. An ending section that includes at least one piece of concept art from each of the BO6 maps, but very clearly they were wrapping this book up when BO6 was coming out. Here is a Mega Abomination at the bottom of Janus Towers. Don't know what that was doing there. I guess it was supposed to be a secret boss. Like, in my head, I would imagine it's like in Breath of the Wild when you find the Hinox at the bottom of Hyrule Castle. I imagine like that's the idea of this design where like you have to fight it and you're locked into this bottom part of the arena until you can beat it. Here is some concept art for the Tomb. You have concept art for Citadel, and it looks a lot better than the real map does, I'll be honest. A lot more inspired. And finally, artwork for Shattered Veil, which I think they went with a better Shattered Veil look than the way this looks in the concept art. But that is where... Oh, hold on. And then there's a zombie down here. I think a cut town thing. Cuts off. See what it looks like? Yep. The Guardian is holding the wrestler's belt. Hold on. No way, the Guardian. Dude, how do we get that thing? All right, Shadowver looks so good with the Silent Hill Fox deck. I don't like it, but I know some people do. All right, and that is the end of the book. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We did it. We went through the whole COD Zombies art book, and my wife's not even home yet. So I'd say we did it in record time. If you ask me, go pick up this book. This book is awesome. It is like, it's $50. It's 300 pages. You're literally getting 6 pages a dollar. Okay? This thing is the bee's knees. You get... I dropped it. I'm so sorry. My beautiful book. You also get... Guys, you get a sticker. And where else are you getting a sticker of this thing? No BO7 artwork? Nope. They were developing BO7, and they just didn't. And you also get this thing. Guys, who wants the code for my card? Psych! I already redeemed it. I would highly recommend it. This is for any fan. If you want this gorgeous book, I'd pick it up right now. If you can't afford it, get it the digital on Amazon. Make it an American Amazon account. Go do that. Does the digital version have a code? No. You have to get the physical to get the code. What does the calling card look like? Well, I just redeemed it, so let's pull up the game, shall we? And while I'm out, let me also fix this guy. There we go. Because I just redeemed it, so we should be able to see it in game. "20 years of zombies," then maybe put BO7 concept art. It's not 20 years of zombies, though. It says 15 years of zombies, so. Look, chat, you guys are back on screen. Wow. Why can't I skip forward? Yeah, right? All right, chat, let's end this stream here, but let's just go look at the calling card. So it should be in progression, not progression, should be in customize. Hi, babe. You're just in time, about to end the stream. What?
And one of our neighbors was on a night walk,
Mm-hmm.
and I opened the garage door, and I just waited in the road, so like I felt like if I turned in, I was gonna hit him. It was like bad timing.
Yeah.
And when I opened the garage door, he looked to his left and saw I was sitting there, and he started jogging instead of walking.
Oh.
He like ran, and I'm like, oh, I just gave him a little incentive to run.
Yeah, there you go.
Good for him.
Chat, my wife's here.
Your wife, I have a name.
My wife, Sydney. Hold on.
Hello. There's a bean.
There's a bean. Here, we're looking for one calling card I downloaded.
Look, bean here.
I want to get him out of here, though, because he's definitely going to want to eat the food.
I won't let me. This morning, I ate like multiple things with him in the room and never like one.
He must not have had something he wanted.
I guess not.
Chat, I cannot find this calling card. Where is it? I literally just unlocked it earlier. I know I did. I redeemed my code. Chat, who redeemed my code? Who stole it from me?
What is this, breakfast?
Yeah, literally. Chat, unleash the beast. Monster energy. There it is. So this is what the calling card look. Can you not sort it by date? No, there's no way to sort this. Oh, there is filter. Never mind, there was a filter. Anyways, this is what the calling card looks like. We found it, guys. Look, it's a little hand reaching out. It goes, rawr. All right, well, anyways, chat, I'm going to go eat dinner with my wife. Thank you, every single one of you awesome people that showed up. All right, guys, I'll be back Thursday on Codename Pizza's channel. We're going to be practicing for the Iron Man that we're going to attempt at some point later this year once we finish up Black Ops 7. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the very, very consistently high follower, like the viewer count tonight. Very, very blessed. Here, guys, you know, let's just end on Voyage of Despair, the best map ever. Hold on. Oh my gosh, wow, look, we ended on a Voyage of Despair. All right, guys, have a good night.